Welcome to the Meat Dudes. We're meat-obsessed, Wagyu-focused, source-driven, barbecue-influenced. I'm Evan.
I'm Tyler.
And besides being all those things, we're also restaurant owners. And so today we thought we would bring you some fun action here and really talk about the French Brigade, the whole kitchen system. What is that kitchen hierarchy? So that's going to be a big topic today because Chef Tyler has a ton of experience in that. And you also have a lot of fun stories.
I do.
And we're going to pick our lineup of who we would put in our kitchen French Brigade out of all the celebrity chefs.
I can already feel my stress level. just by just remembering these places, I can feel my stress level.
No, dude, we're gonna bring out some experiences here, man.
Boy.
Some emotions. So yeah, we're gonna cover that whole thing. I'm so excited for this. We've been talking about this for a while. We're also gonna talk about the Beef Toro. That's the Know Your Cut.
Yep.
One of our favorite cuts. Amazing griller. We got some hot takes, and then we're gonna ask the question: what would Anthony Bourdain think about Wagyu beef? So I'm excited. Let's jump into it.
Let's go.
All right, before we jump into this first section, remember to like, follow, and share us to keep this meat and Wagyu conversation going. Also, if you want to join the Meat Fam on Facebook, go to the Meat Fam, ask to join, and I'll approve you if you make the cut. So that's our Facebook group. We talk a lot about meat. We post Wagyu beef stories and have a lot of fun.
We should make some Meat Fam T-shirts. Send out to the folks.
Yeah, dude. Yeah, there's a lot
Part of the Meat
people,
Fam.
man. There's a lot of people that are Meat Fam that we're talking to. Okay, but Chef Tyler, a big topic today. What is the French Brigade? What is that kitchen hierarchy, right? We talk about the French Brigade. You see it when you watch Hell's Kitchen. Manage your brigade. Get a hold of your goddamn brigade. You know,
that was your best Gordon Ramsay right there.
Yeah, I don't want to. Yeah, you know, I'm watching the levels here. I didn't want to freak out. But we've seen the bear. He talks about the French Brigade and the bear. But what is the quick history of the French Brigade? Right, it was created by Escoffier. Yeah. He's the OG of basically modern fine dining.
Yeah.
And that was in like the late 1800s.
Yeah, it was back in the day. And for lack of a better term, it's almost like entering the military in a kitchen.
1,000%.
It really is. Like, there are levels.
Mm-hmm.
And you know where your level is because you're told daily.
Yep.
And you do not step out of line.
There's clear roles. Yeah.
You master one thing, and you may be able to move to the next thing, and you may be able to move to the next thing, but don't you ever think you're going to until you're asked to. Or
Wow.
you're in fucking trouble.
I like that.
Yeah.
It basically is to create no chaos during a service, right? To put out perfect food without chaos.
Everybody has their role.
We're going to go over all of those roles, break them all down, and talk about why they're important and why it's important for us as the meat dudes to understand this. Because if you go to a nice restaurant and your meat's not cooked well, that's not a good experience. And that should never happen. Yeah, never. That should never happen in the French Brigade.
To make it even more encompassing, it starts at the front door. And part of the dining room.
Yeah.
It's like that is where the all house mentality really comes from, because the stress is out there on the floor as much as it is in the kitchen.
Wow. Hold on, I'm going to cut that clip and I'm going to send that to Sarah.
I wouldn't say even more, but
you're right.
When you're doing table side, filleting like a holdover sole or something, where everything else in the back is timed on that sole hitting the plate and everything else comes to the table, the sauce, the sides, the entremet, all that stuff. That timing has to be impeccable. And if somebody messes up in the front, or if you overcook that fish and they can't properly fillet it at the table, buddy, it's a freaking mudslide, dude.
Man, I did always wonder that.
And then you have the front of the house managers, barking down. Oh, it's a mudslide, dude, because it goes from them to chef, and this was fucked up, and then
Yeah.
chef, sous chef, chef de cuisine are all over you, dude.
Oh.
It's just
Well, it's about communication,
Yeah.
right? It's really about communication.
Yeah.
If you want to put out the perfect meal, it's about having perfect communication and everybody knowing what their roles are. So let's break down these roles, chef. Okay. So Scoffier, the OG, the inventor, the creator of the French Brigade system. So he would be the executive chef, right? So that's at the very top, the executive chef, the chef de cuisine. Am I correct about that?
chef de cuisine would be
The general.
the guy that's under the executive chef,
Oh.
which is more or less running the kitchen, because chef generally at that point is not doing anything but walking around with a very nice clean coat on and freaking everybody the fuck
And
out.
having a clipboard.
Yeah. Freaking everybody the fuck
Yeah,
out.
yeah.
So the
Okay,
chef
so
de
he's at the top.
cuisine,
Okay.
chef de cuisine, and sous chefs are running the kitchen.
So does it go the executive chef and then the chef de cuisine? Would
Yep.
I have that right?
Yep,
And
yep.
then you would have the sous chef under there.
Yeah, there's usually generally two.
So they're running the team. They're managing the team,
Mm-hmm.
right? So they're badasses. They're managing the whole team. They could probably hit any one of the stations and be able to rock it out.
That's
Am I
the only
correct about
way. That's the only way you make it to the chef de cuisine.
that? Okay.
You have to know every station.
Yeah.
You have to know every part. You have to know everything, every technique.
Yeah.
You have to know everything that's in the walk-in. You have to know every order. It is awfully stressful.
Ooh, okay. So you've got the head chef, the chef de cuisine, the sous chef,
Mm.
and then under that you kind of have your I don't want to say your army, basically, right? Your chef de partie, right?
Yep. You got your commis, which are just kind of your basic cooks, and there's a lot of them.
Yeah, but those are under.
Under,
right?
under.
So if we're going in order, we're going chef de cuisine, sous chef, chef de partie. They handle all of the stations, right?
Yep.
So let's go over these stations because these are super important. So you've got the saucier.
Saucier is a baller.
Wow. So the
Your-
sauce boss.
Your sauce boss, you got to be on point.
So
Because if chef comes by, you'll set up all the sauces, because generally in the French Brigade, your sauces are set in front where the plating is actually getting passed through before it goes to the pass, and chef sees it finished plates in the pass. So lots of time the chef de cuisine is finishing with the sauces and everything for plate and like screaming at everybody.
yeah.
So the saucier has to have all those sauces perfectly set, perfectly labeled, perfectly temped for the chef de cuisine to actually plate them all up,
Yeah.
right?
So that's like the first. That's kind of like the first line of defense.
Saucier is it's there's a lot of elegance to that to be a really good sauce soup stock maker. There really is, and some people are gonna be like, oh, it's just a stock. Like, no. These guys take their jobs like crazy serious.
Yeah. It's
Right.
it's a big deal.
Mm-hmm.
No, absolutely. The poissonnier,
Oh, that's the G.
the fish,
That's the G.
right?
So generally, when you're the poissonnier, you have a lot going on your station, because you
Yes.
have a lot of times you have your own sauces, you have all your own entremet, your sides, your sautéed chanterelles, corn, like whatever the season is.
Yeah.
That's all on you, along with cooking the fish
Yep.
perfectly, and
Any seafood, basically.
yeah. And
Okay.
oftentimes, there's, dude, I can remember, I worked a station that had 13 different fish on it for the menu for the day.
Dude.
Some of them are like this teeny tiny. Some of them are whole fish that get filleted in the dining room after you perfectly pan fry it, and like,
Oh, really?
ugh.
Dude, that's a.
And you have to manage the heat. So
Oh, okay.
anybody that's listening about this, the number one thing about cooking, period, in a kitchen like this, or kitchen period, is heat control.
Yep. Heat control.
100%.
Okay.
Meats, fish, sauces, everything. You got to know your heat control so well.
Yeah.
You
Why is that important?
Oh, you burn butter, you're starting over. You got to throw that pan away. You
Ooh.
got to reheat the pan.
Yeah.
Your dishwasher's pissed. The plongeur.
The plongeur. Yep.
You're in trouble. You're in trouble.
I get it,
And
man.
the chef will come in and be like, "I smell burnt butter."
Oh man. No thanks.
Middle of
No
Friday
thanks.
service, no thanks.
So we got the saucier, the poissonnier. What about the rôtissier? The meat.
Well,
the
you've
roast
gotta-
master. The meat.
These kind of go back way back.
Yeah.
So
yeah.
mostly in this day and age, there's usually just a real solid meat cook.
Just the meat person.
And mostly it's in French kitchens. It's a lot of roasting. There's not a ton of grilling. So your meat cook, you got to be really solid at it, and that's all you have to do.
You're just cooking
You're
meats.
just cooking
So
your
why,
meats.
Why is it, though, that the fish has to do mushrooms and all their sauces and the meat is just doing meat?
Don't ask me, man.
That's just the way Escoffier did
That's just
it?
how it goes, dude.
Yeah, dude.
And to make it to that fish station, to be the poissonnier, like just spoke about this previously, but
Yeah.
you're one of the better.
Yeah.
You're one of the better cooks in the kitchen, dude. If you're rocking the fish station on a Friday, Saturday night,
For sure.
sometimes there's two on the
Yeah.
station, but generally it's just by yourself.
Because you can't, we talked about this last week.
And you're carrying the load.
Well, you can't sous vide fish, right? Do you sous vide fish?
You can sous vide fish,
Yeah.
Lots of salmon, halibut,
They
like
just sous vide
it's
it, and then
delightful.
they just finish it on the grill
Mhm.
or finish it in the pan.
Mhm.
Okay, I didn't
Yep.
think you could do that. Okay.
Yep.
I don't cook a lot of fish. I cook meat.
I know.
Cook
This
steaks.
is the meat, dude.
This is the steak.
Fish is good for you.
So you've got your meat guy, your meat dude, if you will, meat person, if you
Mm-hmm.
will. And then what about your in the next in the chef de
You got
partie?
entremet.
Entremet. What do
Right.
they take care of?
Because so entremet's the cohort to the meat guy,
Okay.
right? So he's doing all the sets for the meat plates. So meat guy's cooking, entremet's here, fish is here.
Yeah.
So entremet's kind of in the middle and is prepping and cooking all of the sets for the meats that are coming
The sets is like the vegetables, the
Mhm.
sides is what you're talking about.
Mhm.
Yeah. So they're occasionally allowed to maybe flip the ribeye if need be, but actually you got to stay in your lane, right?
Stay in your lane, bro.
Stay in your lane, bro.
Don't
You're
touch,
right.
don't touch my pan.
Don't touch my meat. Don't touch my pan.
Because you take a lot of pride in that, dude.
I'm sure.
You take a lot of pride in
There's a little bit of
not
ego.
having to have anybody help you,
Yeah.
right?
Yeah.
You're embarrassed. Like I've gone down,
Yeah.
dude, on some stations,
But
and
Gordon Ramsay always
people have
says,
to come in and help, and like
No, Gordon Ramsay
It
always says
hurts.
you got to ask for help
it
before you
hurts.
go down.
It hurts. It hurts.
Yeah.
I've seen people cry.
No doubt, dude.
Online.
I've watched Hell's Kitchen. We're going to talk about that. So what's next? You got your garde manger.
Yeah, so generally in the garde manger, you've got hot apps and cold apps, and the
Yeah.
hot app station is also burly.
I mean, and that gets the whole service started, right? You got to
Mhm.
be on. You got to start that game and just get those things out.
Mm-hmm. Yep, because this is all just this huge function.
Yeah.
It's just this well-oiled motor that has
Yeah.
to run on all pistons at all times, and oof. When you start barking back and forth across, it's like a horseshoe shape, right?
Yeah.
When you start barking back and across on because you're looking at all the tickets and asking the, hot apps like, how long is it? And pretty soon, chef comes in and just starts screaming,
Yeah.
quiet in the kitchen! I was like, that's one of the most scared moments I've ever had in my life. The first time that ever happened to me.
Really? Yeah.
Oh my god, dude!
Just drops the hammer.
We had a chef de cuisine in California, who was this gigantic human,
Yeah.
really good cook, man. Really good cook, Mario.
Gotta be, huh?
Big Mario.
Yeah.
He literally was like 6'4", 230,
Okay.
but
Good-
dude
good shape.
could cook, could
Yeah.
plate, could like operate. Dude, he was good,
Yeah.
but fucking frightening.
Yeah.
And his voice was so loud when he yelled, and like I can't imagine that people in the dining room couldn't hear it.
That's the thing, right?
Ugh.
Hey man, if I'm paying $500 for the meal,
Scary.
do I want to hear the chef screaming their fucking ass off back there?
But I did shine him on a lot because I wanted him on my side because I was a stage. I was working for free,
Yeah.
and he made this 4 seafood little tasting dish on one plate. It was gorgeous, dude. It was beautiful, and I stopped and I was like, "That's one of the most beautiful plates of food I've ever seen, chef." And he looked at me. He's like, "Thank you." And I was like, "Get back to brunoise lemon peel,"
Yeah. Oh wow, dude. All right. So you also have your boucher, huh? Your butcher.
Well, yeah.
Yeah. I mean, that's a.
It's a big one, and that butcher doesn't really want you messing with his stuff either.
So they're getting all the fish, all the meats, all the chickens, everything butchered, all the poultry, everything.
Everything, and so it's set. So generally, there's all kinds of cooks in the kitchen before you get there.
Mm-hmm.
These things are running, freeze, like
20 hours a day,
they
huh?
are, dude,
Yeah.
a lot.
Yeah.
And when I was a stage and I was working 12, 14, 15 hours a day for free.
Yeah.
Just for the experience.
Kids don't do that these days, you know?
No, they don't. They get
You get in trouble for that now.
They definitely don't.
Yeah.
But yeah, the butcher is like, you got to be so good in these places. Like, you cannot mess things up at all, and they have to be perfectly portioned, perfectly cut. They can't have any lines in them. It's like, all those times I've taught how to cut a tenderloin. It's like you want it to look like a knife has never touched it, right?
Yeah.
It has to be just every time. And there's a lot of ego in that too.
Oh, absolutely.
Huge.
Yeah.
So as you make it through these ranks and you learn all these different spots, like, you would commit 2 to 3 years minimum if I was going to walk into Robuchon or Atelier or any of those places. Le Bernardin, like, you commit to those chefs and that team, because they're all looking at you like, you ain't gonna make it.
Yeah. All right.
French Laundry. When you go to French Laundry, you start in family meal.
Wow.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And you don't know how to break down a chicken properly until Thomas Keller comes around and goes like, oh, you're the new guy making family meal. Cool. Let me show you how that's done.
Yeah.
And it's like, I've broken millions of chickens down and off. And it's
like, no, you haven't. Not the way I want it.
I'm scared.
Wow, man.
Yep.
So those are mostly your chef de partie.
Yep.
Right? And so there's a couple other little ones, that we didn't really go over that aren't, that aren't from the 1800s.
They're pretty old school. Some of these things are pretty old school. Yeah.
So you said when you were a stage, is that the same thing as a commis chef?
Yeah, pretty much.
Yeah. So
you
you
do whatever you're told to do.
Yeah. So that's under the chef de parties, right?
Oh yeah.
So okay. So they have people working under them, and they're just doing all the grunt work.
Luckily, I had already been cooking for a long time before I had this opportunity. So I got put on fish station.
Oh, you did?
Right away.
Really?
And
how'd you do?
Day 2 or 3, I was solo on fish station by myself.
Okay.
And I did all right.
Yeah.
I did all right.
Yeah.
I can remember 3 or 4 services in the 4 months that I was there that I totally fucked up.
That you just wanted to just off yourself, huh?
Oh, hurts so bad, dude.
So bad.
Luckily, there was a dive bar across the street.
Dude, that is. I mean, I don't, if people haven't worked in a restaurant, that is just one of the worst feelings in the world. To get behind and to fuck up your whole team, or to front a house to be
Dude,
so overwhelmed that you don't even know what's going
everybody's
on.
looking at you.
The worst feeling, dude. That is the worst feeling.
And I can't even tell you the best feeling, but there's a bunch of them. But pulling yourself out of the hole you just dug, if you can successfully pull yourself out of it and get back on track, I got goosebumps, dude.
Bro,
that's like, you're like,
I'm good.
End of service, you're just like, I will never let that happen again. I promise. I swear to you guys, I will never let. You want to go home early? I'll clean your station for you. Yeah.
So that best feeling is sitting at that bar having that shift drink, huh?
Yeah, it's pretty good.
Dang, dude. So, under that, let's not forget the last one, right? Because this is, to you, is one of the most important, right? The plongeur. Plongeur. Okay, my French isn't very good today. The dishwasher, right? I
can't remember who said it, but I remember one of my years of cooking, and I think it was a general manager who said, a restaurant is only as strong as its dish team.
Yeah.
And you start to recognize how much that job sucks if you ever have to fill in or whatever. Yeah. And in these kind of kitchens, like, you don't just grab all your shit at the end of the night and go dump it in the dish station. You have to stack all like items with like items and like.
Yeah.
And I got to the point where I knew the dishwasher, I don't know why he didn't like me. He hated me.
Really?
And, yeah, he would come on my line like through service and tell me to get the fuck out of the way, and he'd sweep anything that I dropped on the floor, and he'd look at me like, I was like, oh. So eventually I was like, anytime I had any delicious little scrap or anything, I'd start to put together like a bowl, and I would be like, I was like, Pedro.
Oh man.
And he'd come over like, here you go, buddy. And
wow.
Gracias.
That's what you gotta do, man.
Eventually I was on his team.
That's what you got to do.
everybody hated me.
I don't know why.
They all hated me the minute
The
I got
young,
there.
cocky guy coming up, right?
Yeah.
But that's every chef, man. Every young chef is cocky, man. It's just in the blood.
You get uncocky very fast.
Yeah. When you talk about that, so who are some of the? Let's talk about some of the fictional chefs that still scare the shit out of you. Who are some of those fictional?
What do you mean
Like
fictional?
those fictional from shows and from movies and things like that. Because we're going to talk about the top 5. Some of the best restaurants, but
Joel McHale.
Yeah, and the bear.
And the bear played that role.
You came in shaking the next day, man.
So good, dude. And just secretly belittling Carmy in his ear. And, dude, it was like...
That was too real.
It really got me, man.
Yeah.
There's a lot of stupid shit on the bear, of course.
Of course, yeah.
There's a lot of real stuff on there too. That's like, whoa, sometimes I can't binge watch that show. I can only watch a couple episodes of it.
Yeah.
I need a fucking break, dude.
I know,
oh
dude.
my god,
What about who else was there? That Bradley Cooper.
He was pretty nasty.
Dude, I was watching that. I was like, he is mean, man. Is that really how it's like? Isn't that just mean? I'm a little bit scared that I'm gonna get hurt, physically hurt.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I mean, there's all these old stories, of course. You think about your Marco Pierre-Whites and your Gordon Ramsays and your old school guys like that. Marco used to be ferocious, and there's stories of him you slide him risotto that wasn't perfectly finished, and he'd pick it up and
throw it on you. A hot risotto.
Hot risotto. It's molten lava.
Yeah.
And I worked for a chef that would come and as you were and they don't want you to make eye contact with them.
Yeah, so you're chopping.
They just want to scream at you and try to rattle your cage.
Take it.
And if you can just continue to be like, yes, chef, heard chef, yes, chef, and he'd start kicking you in the shoes and the soles of your shoes, I saw him on lunch service make this cold app guy drop and give him 20 in the kitchen during lunch service, dude. And he was like, yes, chef. He drops and just starts doing push-ups.
Man.
There's a lot of scary shit out there, dude. And there's not many people now that can really... You have PTSD, dude. Yeah. It's I've never been so frightened to go to work ever in my life.
Is that going away? Does that philosophy... I mean, the brigade system works to this day, but does that philosophy, that old school philosophy, still work in today's world?
I don't believe it does.
I don't
believe you can.
I don't think you can get away with that. No.
Funny enough, dude, I was watching this clip with Eric Repair, he's just such a magnificent chef. A magnificent man. He's such a good person.
Yeah.
And he was talking about how that kind of shit never happens in his kitchens.
Yeah.
Because it's detrimental to the product going out of the kitchen, right?
That's kind of
the energy is messed up, the stress is messed up.
You talk about it with Wagyu, the
cortisol levels are just whack, and you're just so your hands are shaking.
Yeah, how is that good to get the product out?
You're gonna mess up more.
Yeah,
right.
End of the shift, you'd rip these guys a new asshole. That's fine, but during it, man, unless they're so fucking out of line, just let them do it. Most of these people in the kitchen are probably goddamn professionals, right?
We go back to we go back a long way. The Jean Georges, the Joël Robuchons, these are granddaddies, right?
Yeah.
And yes, that happened. Generally not from them as much as their chef de cuisines, though.
Okay.
Because if chef has to deal with it, it's because the sous chefs or the chef de cuisine did not. And then that's your ass.
And they're done. You're gone after
You're in trubs, dude.
That's God.
But yeah, it's a real thing, dude. There's
I could see it in your eyes after that bear episode when you came in the next day. I was like, dude, that got to you, man.
It rattled me.
It rattled you. I was like, wow,
it rattled me.
Yeah. Jesus. Well, hey, I looked up maybe 5. You probably have more restaurants that are really maybe famous for the French Brigade. I mean, there's a ton out there, right? There's a lot of really old ones, but let me go over, of course, the Savoy, right?
Savoy.
So that's Escoffier in 1889. So of course that one we have to talk about. But I wanted to do a couple more modern ones. But that was really the birthplace of the brigade system, right? If I'm correct there. So really just he had that military style kitchen structure, and I think a lot of fine dining restaurants today, from everywhere, from Paris to Portland, kind of owes Escoffier and the Savoy a lot of
for sure.
recognition, right?
Oh, for sure.
You would say it, yeah. Okay.
And that goes down to, I mean, I could name thousands of really good chefs and really good restaurants and Michelin stars and all of that stuff. But like coming up 25, 30, whatever years ago, and you're looking at all these people like the Charlie Trotters were doing in the United States.
Yep.
Dude, Joël Robuchon. Letellier.
Yeah.
I mean, how many Michelin stars did that guy have before he died?
That's
I think
crazy.
he died in 2016 or 18. And he, dude, had piles of Michelin stars.
Man. What about the French Laundry?
Yeah, French Laundry
That's
is
kind of one of the more famous ones here on the West Coast. In
number one
in the world, I mean,
probably.
It's not number one in the world, but yeah, in the West Coast, it's probably number one. Maybe even in the U.S., it would.
Yeah, you
battle it
got
out with a couple other
a
ones.
few in the U.S. You know, like the 11 Madison Park. They actually got named best restaurant in the world.
Yeah, they did.
And those are I would say pretty new schoolish comparative to like what we're talking about.
'Cause at the French Laundry, Thomas Keller, he kind of added warmth and mentorship. That was like one of his things. So he's got the brigade system, but he actually mentors. I was just listening to him this morning. He was saying if the chefs under me can't become better than me, then I failed at my job.
Yeah, I love
that. Wow, that's
dope,
that. Dude. Like I don't hear that from
That's
a lot
very
of,
new school.
That's very new school. But this guy's one of the best in the world, right? So I love that. What about Le Bernardin?
Oh, dude,
in New York City?
So
right?
good.
So
and Eric Repair's been doing it for a long time.
Yeah, I said it opened up in 1986.
A long time, dude.
Yeah. He's I guess he's more well known to be calm as well, huh?
Yeah, he's cool.
Yeah,
he's a super
cool and
super
calm.
good guy.
We mentioned 11 Madison Park,
Oh
of
my
course,
God.
in New York City.
So good.
Yeah.
I ate there once.
They say that's kind of you did. Tell me about it.
It was dope.
Yeah.
Yeah. And I ate with 3 other people, and I think we got to try. We just all decided to order all separate things so we could try everything on the menu.
Yeah.
It was pretty dope, dude.
Oh man, I love Madison Park is well known. I mean, all these are, but well known for their front of house as well.
Absolutely.
That's
Absolutely.
almost just as important.
It is, dude, because I mean that's where you're gonna get or not get Michelin stars.
Yeah.
Right.
Yeah.
Service has to be on
Service.
point. Everything's got to be clean. Everything's got to be crisp. Everything's got to be so attentive. Like you go eat at Robuchon in Vegas right now.
Yeah.
And there's like a dude stands next to your table.
Yeah.
And just acts like he's
just
not,
in all black.
He acts like he's not there. But if you drop a fork, it's like you don't even know it.
Wow.
It's like new fork.
Man.
When you get up and you come back to the table, go to the bathroom or something, your napkin's perfectly folded, your chair's pushed in, they
Yeah.
pull it out for you before you sit down, your water's refilled. Like, it's on
It's perfect.
point. It's perfect. Charlie Trotter used to have, this might be lore, but Charlie Trotter used to have double stick tape on his servers' shoes. So when they were walking through the dining room, they would pick up
A little piece
crumbs or anything that had
Yeah.
fallen. Yeah. So there's like crazy ass shit.
That's very militaristic.
Stupid,
That's
dude.
crazy.
I wanted to work there so bad, but I was so scared.
Oh, we also got to talk about, of course, Restaurant Gordon Ramsay in London, 1998.
Gordon's got some stars.
He's got some stars, and he's probably one of the most famous just because of his marketing of really, showcasing the French Brigade and all his shows, and really just pushes that. I mean, we've watched Hell's Kitchen, me and my wife, for years, and that's.
I've seen it firsthand.
Yeah, you've seen it. You've seen Hell's Kitchen, or
No.
Gordon Ramsay.
Gordon.
Yeah.
Yes.
You got to experience Gordon Ramsay firsthand, huh?
I did, yeah. And people were like, "How is he? How is he? Is he really like that?" I'm like, "Yeah, he is
that's
like
who
that
he is.
all the time."
Wow.
And mostly, it's just because he has a standard and he wants everything to get done perfectly. As all of these chefs that we've talked about,
Yeah.
that's what it's all about, right?
Because it has to.
You have to.
It has to. It's. I mean, we we talk a lot about meat, and I want to kind of like reference this to Wagyu beef, this French Brigade in the fine dining, because these restaurants go all in, right? I mean, imagine having all of these people working. How much does that cost?
Oh my God.
The payroll of these restaurants has got to be fucking insane.
So much.
So it's the same. You have to go all in. You have to sell it for a more expensive price because everything's going to be perfect. Just kind of like, I'm going to tie it back into Wagyu beef, right? You have to get the best genetics and feed for so much longer, and you have to sell it at a little bit of a higher price. Why? Because all of these things went into it to make it better than your normal eating experience.
Yep.
Right?
Yep.
So, God, just thinking about, going all in, how much that really costs to
run
this place, man.
What's wild about some of that is there's places in the world that actually bring all these cooks in, and they have living quarters for them, and you just go and you learn.
And you learn and you live.
You learn and you live. And
a lot of that's for free, too, right?
Yeah.
Because they'll have, like, 25 people in the kitchen, and,
it's insane.
15 are getting payroll,
and
which is a lot, but...
You got 4 people picking out the most perfect rosemary flowers off of, whatever in the garden. It's nuts.
It's so crazy.
That's the only way that you can really get that stuff done, dude. You can't afford to pay all those people.
No way, dude. No. Yeah, we know how that goes.
But the learning experience is just crazy in value. You can't put a price on it.
Yeah.
You can't. It's so awesome.
I like it. Let's let me fire off some of the 10. I looked up the 10 commandments of a French Brigade kitchen. So I want you to react to these, and I want you to give me a little insight and see if we're right on. Okay.
Mm-hmm.
So the 10 commandments of the French Brigade system. 1, yes, chef is sacred.
All day.
Yeah, you cannot say, okay, got it.
Nope, I've made that mistake.
Oh, and you got called a donut.
Oh, dude, I got called a donkey.
Fucking donkey.
Donkey.
All right, number 2 of the 10 commandments, know your role, stay in your lane.
Absolutely.
Yeah.
Absolutely. Keep your station as clean as possible. Keep your prep area as clean as possible.
Oh, yeah.
Do not cross. I'll tell you the number one person in the kitchen that you do not ever cross any of their lines, pastry chef.
Oh, why is that?
They have their own utensils. They have their own work area. You can't even set a pan down to grab a scoop of ice. Like, you're in
Just let 'em go.
trouble, dude. They are crazy.
All right, number 3, mise en place is your religion.
Yes, it is.
Yes, and that's talking about setting up your station the right way.
Everything in its place.
Everything in its place that is perfect and stocked, and you know where everything's at, right?
Mm-hmm. Got all your backups ready.
Yeah.
Yep.
Yeah. Number 4, keep your station clean, always.
Clean as you go.
Clean as you go.
Clean.
How many times have I heard you say that? Clean as you go.
Clean as you go. I've probably said it today.
Yeah. Number 5, never talk back on the line. You don't even want to respond to that. Fuck no.
No.
You do not say a thing.
No.
You talk back, you're done. You might even get hurt.
Yes, chef.
You might get physically hurt.
I heard a chef scream, the only 3 answers I want to fucking hear are yes, chef, no, chef, and I don't know, chef. And if you say I don't know, chef, then figure the fuck out. Like,
I love it.
I don't want to be that guy.
And number 6, work quietly, work quickly.
Mm-hmm.
Dude, quick and efficiency, right?
Always. Yeah.
That's just the number 1.
There's not a lot of yammering going on, like, hey, what'd you do last night, kind of shit.
No.
Nope.
Number 7, know the flow of the kitchen. Understand that line's rhythm, when to fire, when to hold, when to push.
Yep, and you learn that from messing things up.
Ooh,
and
you learn fast.
You learn fast, and you can when you start to get good and you start to control all your heat and you're watching everything else that's going on in the kitchen, you're not just totally focused on the one thing you're trying to learn.
Yeah.
Once you've learned what your station is, and then you can start to kind of you really get a sense of the flow, and you see him searing foie gras over there, and you see him searing a côte de boeuf over there, and your fish just went out. You know this is gonna go next. You learn.
Okay.
And that's a feather in the cap.
Yeah, it is.
Yeah.
Number 8, taste everything. Serve nothing blind.
Taste everything, dude.
That's a lot of tasting.
Taste.
You're tasting all day, all night, right?
All day. This is something I wanted to tell you earlier, too, because we talked about people tasting shit with their fingers.
Yeah.
There's an actual scientific thing about, think about how you've eaten dinner or eaten anything your entire life other than chopsticks, right? Mm-hmm. You use a fork, you use a knife, you use a spoon, and those are generally always metal, right? Yeah. So that metal actually has a reaction
flavor,
of flavor in your mouth. So you always want to taste like that, and you're going to get the right minerality, the right salt, the right acid, the right sugar, sweet, sour, salt, bitter, the pure umami.
That's way better than touching it with your finger.
It's disgusting.
It's so gross,
It's
man.
disgusting.
That just grosses me out. All right, number 9, respect the hierarchy.
Oh, 100%, dude.
That shouldn't even need to be said.
One quick thing about respecting that is, say, meat guy got his foot ran over by a bus on his way to work, and you're not going to work fish tonight. You're going to have to fill in for him on meat.
Yeah.
You got to know what the hell's going on over there, just in case that happens.
Yeah.
And that's a scary time.
Got to have a swing guy, right?
Oh, yeah, dude.
Baby. Number 10, clean as you go and leave it better than you found it.
Always, man. And that's, we didn't even get into AM services versus PM services. If you're working in like a hotel with said style of kitchen, you got breakfast and lunch, and you got dinner service. And that crossover is humongous. And if you come into somebody's dirty ass station and they left it for you,
baby,
buddy,
no.
you're in trouble.
Yeah. Oh man, you can't. All right, what's an unspoken rule that you would never break in the brigade? Like you personally.
I would never use another person's knife.
Yeah, I've heard you say that.
Never.
Ooh, we had a knife incident here.
Not
a few
even
years ago, huh?
Not even if dire needs.
Yeah.
I would never touch another person's knife, dude.
Wow. So
when
when I'm cutting my apples and peanut butter,
Oh, yeah,
I
I
take
know.
that knife off I don't take the good ones. I take the ones off the community knives.
I have a knife in the back right now that I only pull out when I have to do like some fine chopping.
Yeah.
And there was a piece of tape yesterday on the tip of it, so I know somebody grabbed that knife and opened a fucking box with it.
Wow, bro. You gotta. They are next. That wasn't me. You know, you're looking at me. They are next. I got my little knife.
Of course.
My little thing that I do.
You're well trained.
But they are next to the boxes, so we gotta,
A 9-inch chef knife.
Yeah.
Yeah, that's a good. I'm just gonna grab that huge sharp ass knife and cut this tape off a box real quick.
Oh my God. No, you can't.
I found it. I found the tape this morning. I was like,
oh, who opened it? Ooh, baby.
what the?
I got my little thing that I use. All right. I'm just
Don't ever
throwing it out
touch
there.
another person's knife, man.
Heard. Yes, chef.
Oh,
Right. So, in some of your fine dining experience, would Carmi from the Bear, would he survive your kitchen brigade?
I mean, come on. We're talking about actors here.
But his character, right?
Yeah,
he
he
was
would.
pretty good,
Yeah,
man.
he's fucking good,
He was
dude.
pretty good, dude.
Yeah, he was a baller.
Yeah.
And like the Bear, the whole show, they portray him as like one of the most talented, gifted chefs ever.
Yeah.
Right. He was a good cook.
Yeah, he was pretty good.
He went
Yeah.
everywhere.
You know what I liked about the show? Like, I want to kind of hop into the Bear real quick. My dream job would be is it the expo, the culling out all the stuff? Man, I got fired up watching that. Like, table 6, fire the scallops. Table 9, hold on that beef. Table 10, just
Dragging pasta,
That just-
dragging scallops,
it got me
dragging.
riled up.
Oh, buddy.
It's like watching like an intense football game and the coach is calling the right plays. I'm like, oh man, I just love that. That was
Dude.
how hard is that position?
It is so hard.
It's
It's so hard,
dude.
So I came up
God.
at Pazzo in Portland when I was a young kid.
Yeah.
And I worked every station in the house before I became the sous chef. And the pastas, these are all hand called, like you don't have any tickets. These are all verbal.
Are they writing them down on a piece of paper
No.
too? Okay.
The tickets are coming in.
Okay, but then
But
who's calling it?
But the expediter
That's Expo. Okay.
has to call everything verbally, and you have to remember.
You gotta
it.
remember, dude.
You have to remember all of it. We're doing like 650 covers a night. Like,
Yeah.
you're just so drained by the end of the night. So when I made it to the pasta station, this was an Italian restaurant.
Yeah.
It was the most.
That's like the fish guy.
Yeah.
Yeah.
The hardest station I've ever worked in my life, and then I started getting good at it.
Yeah.
And then I was doing that plus the fish cook fucking
The shoulders back.
peacocking
yeah.
into the kitchen like, yeah, let's go.
Uh-huh.
Then when you finally get your sous chef position or whatever, then you got to learn how to call the wheel.
Totally different.
4 times harder than the hardest station in the house.
Oh yeah. I mean, when I watch Hell's Kitchen, they do that whole thing, and then at the very end, they got down to the top 5 or the top 3, and then they have to go call out, basically be the chef, the expediter, and you tell like these guys are just crazy in the kitchen, blah blah blah, and then they get up there and they're like, table 10, two
Yep.
covers.
Nope.
So, yeah,
Totally different,
Start over.
Totally different.
Dude, it's like
You're
it's
completely
intense,
out of
bro.
your element.
Yeah, man. I love that shit.
There's like spider webs in your brain, dude.
Oh, dude.
It's just you
It's
cannot
like a
sort it
different
out.
job. It's a totally different job.
Super hard.
It's like not going from like the meat to the fish, or the sauce to the meat to the fish. It's like a totally different job. It's like being a lawyer to an accountant. You're like, wait, what the fuck am I doing?
It's so difficult.
Oh man, I love that position though. That would be my favorite. What was the worst scene besides that Joel McHale scene in The Bear? What was your other worst scene?
Oh, dude, when the tickets were rolling onto the floor, dude.
Oh no, forgot to turn off the to-goes.
It happened to me 2 days ago.
Oh yeah. So let's talk about that. That's a great segue. Speaking of the French Brigade, we did a Wagyu smash burger pop-up here on Tuesday night. Did 200 burgers. I think the restaurant filled up in about 3 minutes. We had about 70 people in the restaurant. We sold the 200 burgers in an hour and 15 minutes, but we were cooking for about 2.5 hours. So what would you need in that French Brigade system to make sure that would go off without a hitch? Because it was just you cooking all the burgers, and then you had Cody basically aligning all the tickets, mayoing, pickles.
Yeah, we're talking about a smash
toasted
burger.
buns.
We're not even talking about fine plated food.
We're just
right?
talking about the best smash burger I've ever had in my life.
It's exactly like the Bear, because this was back before they made the restaurant fancy, and they were just doing the hot beef sandwiches.
Yeah, that was the hot beef sandwich scene. Yeah,
it's exactly the same. At one point, I looked over because I didn't look up.
No.
I literally didn't look up for
you just cooked burgers.
2.5 hours.
That was like
I
old
just
school, dude.
and I had to clean the flat top in between every run, and I could only do like 15 at a time.
Yep. We
Double
did not
patty.
Have a plongé.
No, we didn't have a
I
dishwasher.
was a plongé at the end. Needed some commis chefs.
I didn't have anything, dude. It was brutal. And I looked over at one point, and the tickets had actually gone down to the floor.
Yeah.
And I was just like,
yeah, 200 burgers. So how long does it take to cook? So you on our flat top, we could do 15
up to
orders,
15
right?
orders.
So that's 30 patties.
Double
'cause they're double
patties.
patties. So how long did it take to cook that?
one burger,
Yeah, one round.
probably 3 minutes.
Yeah. So
3 to 4.
3 to 4 minutes, and then you had to stack them, flip them, put the cheese on every single slice.
Yep. And then as I started getting better at it through the night, I would do half the flat top at a time.
Yeah.
So I kind of like get it going.
Okay. Because you had to clean after every round
I had
too.
to clean every round.
So what did you need? I mean, did that remind you of working back in the?
It did.
In the bullshit?
I had visions
Yeah.
of darkness.
So if I would have gone back there in the middle of that and been like, Chef Tyler,
Yeah.
what the fuck are you doing?
Yeah.
Yeah,
It was just
you'd
probably.
have lost your mind.
Yeah, I might have cried.
You might have just, yeah, dude. Yeah, that was.
It's PTSD, man.
That was.
It really is.
And for me, I don't work the front of house as much as I used to. And then about 30 minutes before that, I was like, Sarah, who's coming in tonight to work? And she's like, oh, Nick, the bartender, and then I'm gonna handle the front, and you. And I'm like, oh, okay, that's it, 3 people. And we had a fucking line down the block. And so basically, luckily it was a pop up, but we just like let people in. God, I mean, Sarah is like she's a beast, dude. Like Sarah, if I had somebody at the front of the house, I would want Joe Bastianich, right?
Oh yeah.
But after that, I probably want Sarah because like she held that line and she took every single order. We got a patio, we got a front.
I think we only had to
insane.
turn away one party that couldn't wait any longer for their burgers because they were waiting for hours.
You had to wait an hour. You had to wait about an hour. If you got it, the worst part was if people ordered something, they're like, "These are so good. Let me order another one." Or my friend got here. Let me order another. I'm like, "Okay, well, you're like 60 burgers back, so it's gonna be a while." I'm sorry. That was quite an experience.
There was
man.
legit 30 burgers going at one time, and I looked up, and there's the other 185 on the board.
On the board, dude.
I'm like,
Sarah got them rung in real quick.
Nothing else I can do.
Yeah, that was a little PTSD I think for
There's
everybody.
Nothing else I could do.
That was fun. But that was a great experience. You know, it's a reminder.
Oh yeah, it was a reminder.
Of
I'm like waiting for
what the
the
fuck?
part of the great experience you're gonna explain to me. I'm like,
you know, it was a
what
great
part was it?
experience
That was
to
great.
bring back the youthfulness of us working in crazy restaurants.
Yes,
and, you know,
the youthfulness, the
yes.
the ute.
Oh my God! You know what's funny? We talk about the bear as a great example. You know, I love the scene where he's building the fine dining restaurant and he's like placing the equipment around, you know, just like marking it around and taking a step. No, this takes 2 steps and needs to take 1, yada, yada. It's such a great reference for fine dining and how that all works. But another one that I really love is the movie Ratatouille, the Disney movie Ratatouille.
Absolutely.
That is, first of all, that's a great movie. My daughter used to watch that when she was like 2 years old, just over and over and over.
I will watch it today.
Oh, it's great, but they really do like the mouse goes up to the top, or the rat, sorry, goes up to the top of the restaurant and looks down and sees everything, and then the chef is asking the rat, you know, who does that guy do? And they actually go through all the stations, and it's
great.
a really cool
It's great.
breakdown. I think it's an awesome movie, dude. So I would go watch Ratatouille right now.
Have you ever watched Founder?
Founder? No.
It's about the story of McDonald's.
Oh, okay, yeah, with Michael Keaton.
Yep.
Yeah, I
And
haven't seen it
the
yet, no.
two original. You haven't? Oh my God,
No,
dude!
I gotta watch that.
The two original founders of McDonald's, the McDonald brothers,
Yeah,
actually went out on a tennis court with chalk and
built it.
and built their whole kitchen, and how efficient, because
Dang.
they're like, you know, they had the perfect amount of ketchup,
Yeah.
4 pickles, not 5, kind of shit. Like,
McDonald's is the
I was gonna
Best brigade
I was gonna
system
say
ever.
that it really is, dude. In fast food restaurants, I worked at Burger King when I was like 14,
Mm-hmm.
and watching that system and that program, it is crazy efficient,
I love it, dude.
insane.
Yeah.
Like on timers and everything is where
Oh,
it
yeah.
needs to be, and it's like
You can't even.
you learn a lot from that.
The salt, you turn over the salt to salt the fries, and it goes shoo, and it cuts off. It
Yep.
stops, so you can't even screw that up. So everything is
Yep.
well thought out, and
Yep.
there's no missteps.
It's nuts, man.
Yeah, I love it, dude. Well, let's wrap up our talk about the French Brigade and why does it matter? Because when we love meat, when we're eating a great piece of meat or a great piece of fish or a great piece of chicken, we want it cooked perfectly.
Yeah.
And if you go to one of these restaurants and they have this system set up, it's going to be cooked absolutely perfectly, man.
Absolutely.
And like I said, they go all in, just like a lot of our Wagyu producers. They have to go all in, and people, why are restaurants more expensive? Why are these fine dining restaurants more expensive? Well, because it comes out perfect. Why is Wagyu a little bit more expensive? Well, because it takes a lot more to raise, and it's a better product.
It's a better product.
Right? See how I wrapped Wagyu into that?
I see that, dude.
Love
That was
it,
good.
dude.
That was good.
All right, brother. Let's wrap it up.
All right.
Okay, Know Your Cut.
Yes.
Chef Tyler, what are we talking about today with Know Your Cut?
Well, we're talking about something kind of neat that we call the Toro.
Toro.
Which is the heart, very center, really meaty, uber marbled piece of the navel,
Yeah.
the belly. And we have yet to find out who's in charge of naming this Toro. We have a
Yeah.
couple ideas,
Yeah.
but
I heard that.
you go through depending on how big the animal is, you got 13, 15, maybe 18 pounds of navel.
Of navel.
You
Okay.
go through and get this lovely centerpiece, right? So this is like one of the beautiful abdominals. It is
Yeah.
an uber marbled flank steak. It's quite a bit thinner than flank.
Yeah.
It's really versatile. You can do super hot grill, tons of different styles of cuisine with this meat.
Totally.
Great tacos, stir fry, skewers.
Yes.
I mean, you want to get crazy and like stuff it and roll it, sear it, roast it kind of thing.
Okay.
That would be kind of cool. Almost like a Florentine or some shit.
It is funny. I just went and grabbed it out of the meat case, and I almost grabbed that flank, and I'm like, oh, that's not right.
Yep.
This
This
is
is
Toro.
so close.
And I was
Um,
speaking of flank too. I was just in Mexico, and every single thing on the menu is flank steak.
It's a lot of flank steak, dude.
Is there more flank steaks in Mexican cows, or
Yeah,
maybe
there's-
do they use this?
No, I bet you they use flank.
Just flank.
Yeah.
This is very comparable, but you're right. It is much thinner and more
Thinner,
marbled.
And
It's
that's
like a
why,
Wagyu flank.
That's why we call it Toro, right?
Yeah,
Because
yeah.
it resembles the fatty tuna belly.
The tuna Toro, right?
Toro.
Yeah,
So that's why this name got its name.
yeah,
Right.
yeah.
Fatty belly.
And one of the people. So yeah, who are the people that claim they they came up with this name.
Come on, man. You know.
Well, I don't because I want to
Kevin?
lead in. Yep, Kevin from Beast and Cleaver, and we're
Yeah.
gonna be down at his new restaurant,
Yep.
Little Beast,
Yep.
for the next episode. We're really excited about that. He's so dope.
And our friend Cienzo.
And CN from Preservation Meat. So maybe we'll get the final word on that next week.
Maybe we should get them both in the same room.
Let's get them in there. Yeah, dude, a little mediation. That'll be cool. But yeah, that's one of my favorite cuts. My dad cooked a flank steak. He with Yoshida's used to just rip it. He rocked a flank steak. And so I used to always cook flanks, but ever since I tried the Toro, I've kind of been like, you know what?
It's money.
It's like a Wagyu flank steak.
Sure
almost.
is.
That's how I look. That's how
It's
I sell
lovely.
it. I'm like, it's fucking delicious.
So good.
Look at this marbling, dude.
Yep.
So, and it is tough to get to, you mentioned, right? It's a little bit tough to butcher. Is that why a lot of people don't do it, or people just don't know of it?
People just don't know about it.
Okay.
Right.
So, ask your butcher for the Toro.
Yep.
They might go, what
Or
the fuck are you
or
talking
the
about?
Center cut, heart of the navel.
Center cut, heart of the navel.
Right.
Yeah.
Because we all know it as the Toro, but I think we might be
Yeah.
a little bit spoiled.
Say, the meat dudes in Seattle
Yeah.
want me to eat the Toro,
Eat the
and you should
Toro.
know what that is.
Find it.
Right? God damn it, you donkey. All right. So, anything else about the Toro? Should we wrap that up and get into what we eat this week? Okay.
Let's do it.
Chef Tyler, what did you eat this week?
Bro, I was thinking about it a lot today because last night had my kids super late, and their favorite is steak and mashed potatoes.
Okay.
Steak and mashed potatoes.
fancy mashed potatoes?
Yeah. See, it's not
spoiled.
it's not Robuchon potatoes, but
You spoiled
it's-
chef kids?
it's definitely a potato puree.
Potato puree.
So I had a few steaks in the freezer from when we got the whole animal in, the full blood,
oh, yeah.
and I pulled out 2 ranch steaks, full blood Wagyu ranch steaks,
Mm-hmm.
and it'd been a long time since I had one. So good, dude.
Held up.
So tender,
Yeah.
just delightful.
Oh,
Grilled them,
I'm glad to hear that.
and I used a very hot gas grill, right, propane, and no problem whatsoever.
Yeah.
Yeah,
Okay.
it was perfectly charred, perfectly cooked, medium. Kids were fucking stoked.
Good. Because I do worry about the gas grill with Wagyu.
I know you do, and
Yeah.
you talk about it a lot.
Yeah, yeah. So,
So there are definitely cuts out there that you can not have to worry about that one.
Yeah.
And you got to kind of be a little bit more of a seasoned
you got to watch it.
grill guy at home, you
Yeah.
know? So
Right,
I got the
exactly.
lid down. I got it up to 500. I pop it, get my initial sear in there,
Mm-hmm.
shut it again because you just lost all that heat.
Yeah.
And then you keep your eye on it. Keep it at that 350,
Yeah.
400 ambient temp going on.
Okay.
Keep your eye on it, but it's still doable.
Yeah.
Yeah.
That's good. I'm glad to hear about the ranch steak because
It was so good, dude.
I didn't get one of those. So, yeah.
Dang, really?
I'll get one next time.
Yeah,
That's
you will.
fine.
Yeah.
Yeah, that's fine. So this week, of course, I ate the Wagyu smash burger. I honestly think that's maybe the best burger I've ever had. I'm not kidding. It's awesome. That's man, and even our buddy we talked to, Dave Kearns, right? Who
Yep.
you mentioned is Wagyu a scam? And we talked about him because he thought Wagyu was kind of a scam, and he's in the industry. Turns out he liked that Wagyu smash burger pretty much. One of his favorite burgers he's ever had is what I heard.
Mm-hmm.
So yeah, so
Scam.
weird, huh? But another one, we all know me and my daughter love meat. My wife doesn't eat a lot of meat, but when she does, she likes a fillet. And so I cooked a purebred New York strip for me and my daughter to share. One of those big ones too. We ate the whole thing. And I cooked a fillet for my wife. And
Those New Yorks were dope.
those New York strip, huge too. Yeah, really good.
Gorgeous.
So of course my daughter, we tear through the New York, love it. And my wife's eating the fillet, and she doesn't eat a lot of meat, but she was like, "Yeah, this is really good. You cooked it really well." And I was like, "Oh, thanks. I really nailed it." And she's like, "I'm full." And then I tried it, and I was like, "Man, I fucking nailed this fillet for her, dude." So, I don't eat a lot of fillets. I think I like New York's better. That's my go-to. If I'm at only because of the cooking, I don't feel like I nail it every time, because I think when I think
It'll fool you
fillets-
because it's so tender.
yeah, it will, right? But I like that hard sear finish with some herbs. I like that, and when I'm grilling, I just don't get into all that usually. But man, I think I changed my own mind with that one. I was like, I'm gonna be grabbing a fillet alongside her, man.
Tenderloins are nice.
Dude.
And those last week that were here were crazy beautiful marbled.
So good.
They're really, really nice ones.
Okay, so after this, man, we gotta get into our hot takes. So we got a couple hot takes.
Here we go. Here we go.
Okay, I know you like this one because you're a butcher and you've been in fine dining. So, if your fine dining restaurant doesn't butcher in-house, you're just a plating studio.
You're gonna piss a lot of people off about this.
But come on, dude. Like, if you're charging all that money for fine dining, are you just bringing in just already butchered meats?
Already vaxxed meats that you're just opening up and seasoning and tossing on the grill or searing them up, or what?
I mean, are there really good suppliers that do that? I mean, you have to have a really good supplier. If a farm is sending you that stuff that's already done, okay. But obviously you're not ordering from
That's a whole different operation for a farm, though, right?
Yeah, they don't do that stuff, right?
Right.
So that would be my biggest argument. Like, if you're not doing that, you're just taking something from what? I mean, obviously you're probably not getting it from Cisco or something like that. But
no. But if it's just a go grab 20 ribeyes that are already portioned and vaxxed individually and put them on your station, unwrap them, season them, sear them up, right?
Yeah. I mean, we want to be efficient, and I don't want to.
That's not very cost effective either. I mean, all the goody bits and scraps and
there's a lot of
and delightfulness of butchering your own meat.
Yeah, for family meal.
Yeah,
Ooh,
or even look at Kev, what he does at Beast and Cleaver. He makes
the
insane patés and
dude, I'm so excited to
charcuterie
talk to
and
him
stuff.
about that. Yeah,
totally, dude.
Yeah, that's it. So you are in agreement that if your fine dining restaurant doesn't butcher in house, they are just a plating studio.
As long as you're using tweezers.
Man, I thought of this one too, just because of we're talking about family meal and how important that is. So if your kitchen crew isn't eating family meal like wolves, I don't trust what's coming out of that kitchen. I don't trust what's coming out of that pass. I mean, yeah,
it's true.
You want that family meal to be pretty rock solid, huh?
That was one of the things.
Especially at a fine dining restaurant.
Yeah, and that was one of the things at a fine dining restaurant that I've worked at, that there would be a star next to your name
if you
during the week,
yeah.
and you were the one making family meal for the whole kitchen and the whole restaurant. So you were responsible for it. Of course, your buddy on the cold side would be like, "Hey, can you make me a salad?" And you were in charge of a meat. Actually, we only got chicken leg and thigh.
Oh, okay.
So it was almost a silent competition between the cooks to see who could come up with the best chicken leg and thigh.
Not using that
family meal? Yeah, not using it. We would get whole chickens in, and we only use the breasts, right?
Yeah.
And the chicken leg and thigh would go into other stuff.
Yeah.
So there was always ample amounts of chicken leg and thigh. So if you had to think ahead, it was a competition.
How can I read? Yeah.
Bust out some good old school shit.
I like it.
Yep.
You want to know my hot take? That this is my rant real quick. I hate We Chef. We Chef. I fucking hate it. Oh my god, it just makes me fucking cringe. If you're working for a French restaurant, or you're French, or your head chef is French, or there's some sort of fucking French element in that restaurant, all day, slap it out. That's totally fine. I'm totally cool with that. But I just hate that every chef walks by each other. Hey, we chef. Oh god, dude. I'm sorry, dude. It just makes me.
I'm sending back the We Chef T-shirt I bought you.
Yeah, please do. No, just say yes, chef, man. That's fine. That's fine. But it's just I don't know. It's just that trying to be because every chef, they're trying to be that next level, man.
Yep.
And I get it, dude. And I know it's part of the culture. I get it. Just personally, for me, it just makes me want to fucking gag, when I hear it. So that's just my rant.
That would really get you fired up.
That does, man. I just hear it so much, and I'm like,
Oy.
Dude, you're not on any French Brigade there, dude.
Christian Poulsen's in Paris right now, and he sent me a picture of this old Pied de Cochon, famous restaurant.
Yeah.
And I was like, please go in and get the foie terrine, dude. The foie terrine there is so delicious. Go. And he's like, he responded, "Oui, chef."
Yeah, but
he's in Paris.
He's in Paris. There's your French, connection right there. So that's totally fine. I get it, man. I get it. Yeah. And you guys are kind of on that level too. But it's just a group. If I walk by a group of chefs and they're just like, "Oh yeah, we chef," I'm like, "Shut the fuck up!" I'm so serious. All right.
We call that. That's not a hot take. That's the rant of the
That's my
day.
rant of the week.
That's a rant of the week right there.
Oh god, just don't even say it to me. Okay, what do you think? Let me ask you this, dude. What do you think Anthony Bourdain would think about Wagyu beef?
I think he'd love it. I think he'd love it because you think about Anthony and his background and Le Hall and all that, and very French bistro-y, like steak frites and stuff.
Yeah.
You can't tell me that you put a 100% full-blood bavette in front of him of some perfectly steak frites and béarnaise, dude.
Ooh, I like that. I like the sound of that.
You punch him right in the you-know-what.
Oh, gosh. You guys say that a lot, yeah. You chefs.
Right in the ding. Punch him right in the ding-ding.
You know, I think he would. Yeah, I think he would love it. I think he would be like if he went to Japan and tried some like A5 with like some sake. I think he's probably done that. You know, obviously there's probably a video out there of him doing that. He'd absolutely love that. But I think like I'm more asking like nowadays. I think he would enjoy it, but I think he'd also be the first to like walk into a burger bar and be like, "Where's your Wagyu come from?
Yeah,
this
call
is
you out.
bullshit."
You call you out.
And I think it'd be good and bad because I think a lot of people would see that and be like, "Oh, dude, everyone's just bullshit Wagyu. You know, no one's using real Wagyu." But I think it would be good because he needs to go in there and actually like, you know, fire people up, man.
A little double-edged sword
It's
there.
a little bit, yeah, because I think he would respect it, and once he really understood the American Wagyu, which I'm sure he did, I think he would absolutely love like what you're talking about, a full blood bavette. Oh my God, he'd kill that. But
Bonkers.
But you know, he travels a lot, so I bet he'd walk into places and be like, "Oh, great, this is Wagyu. Where'd you get it from? What type is it? Oh, you don't know? Get the fuck out of here." You know? So it would be a double-edged sword for me, man.
We need more people like that in the world, buddy.
We do. He'd be so great to talk to about that, man. So let's finish off here with your fantasy lineup. So if you're drafting your perfect French Brigade of anyone. It could even be fictional characters too, but it could be, you know, still alive or deceased. Who would be your fantasy lineup, starting with the executive chef?
Oh God.
Yeah.
Exact. I have to go Joël Robuchon.
You go Robuchon over Scoffier as your exec?
I mean,
it's your lineup, bro.
Yeah.
Then I'd probably draft Escoffier.
Yeah.
If we're drafting, then I'd probably never do.
We're playing fantasy
I'd do
fantasy
that.
kitchen here.
No, I don't know enough of these guys. Otherwise, it'd be my turn, and then I'd draft.
I want Eric Ripera on Fish Station
Why?
because he's the best and he loves it. And
He's from La Bernardine.
yeah, that's his jam.
Okay.
God, dude, there's so many. It's so hard, dude.
Where would you have Gordon Ramsay? Would he be on there?
Gordon B. de Cuisine.
Huh?
De Cuisine, Chef de Cuisine.
Chef de cuisine. So he
Yeah.
would be under
Under
Robuchon?
Joël. Oh,
That's,
yeah.
you know, yeah, of course. I think
You got
he'd
Piles.
take that.
He'd have to.
He'd take that. He'd be like, "Oh yeah, that's."
You got piles of sous chefs out there.
Yeah.
But
Who would be your? Yeah, who'd be the sous?
geez, I don't even know, dude. Mario Batali.
Yep. Okay.
He came up.
Yeah, dude.
He came up. I know we
He's-
don't talk about Mario a whole bunch
man.
anymore, but
He's come down, but we're
Dude.
just talking about in his day.
dude's a good cook,
Yeah,
man.
we're just talking about cook
And
skills only.
He can handle a lot of shit.
Yeah, cook skills only.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And then honestly, we could go on and on about the lineup, but
Not more moto on fish.
really, Saucier.
Saucier, more moto and Saucier.
that'd be pretty good.
Oh, dude.
Put David Chang in hot apps.
Okay. Garde Manger.
Gomanger.
Who'd be your Garde Manger?
David Chang.
Oh,
dude.
hot apps.
Yep,
Okay.
hot
Chang.
apps. I put
Okay.
him in there.
Yep.
Um,
No, like Bobby Flays or anything like that. Is it too just celebrity?
no Bobby Flay.
No Bobby Flay. I know you don't like Bobby Flay, do you?
I love Bobby.
Do you? I feel like
Here's
I
the
get a
thing,
little
though. It's like,
attitude. Yeah, he's
you know,
Bobby.
you see all these
You want him on the Saucier?
superstar TV chefs out there, and you're like, how do they have time to run all these restaurants? Well, they don't, and
Yeah.
that's the point. Is like,
No, of course
for me, a lot of the unsung heroes are the commis that have learned every station in the restaurant and know everything about it, but they don't ever want to be the sous chef.
Yeah.
They're the G's.
What about Guy Savoy? Would he be your sous chef?
Yeah, dude.
Oh yeah.
All day, dude.
Are there any really famous
You're kicking me
bouchers out there?
Straight out of the. Oh yeah,
A
dude.
boucher,
There's-
a really famous boucher.
Yeah, there's a list out there too of that. Yeah.
Who's
then
on
you
your
got-
meat station? I forgot. Who's on your meat station?
Jeez, Louise.
Yeah, who's cooking meat, dude?
Me.
Yeah, that's what I'm talking about. Yeah. Okay. Amen.
Yeah, and they put Jean Georges pastry.
Yes.
Molten lava cakes, please.
I love it. Well, dude, we're wrapping it up, but pretty exciting on the tail end of this podcast. Stick around because we are interviewing Joe Thomas, NFL Hall of Famer,
NFL.
left tackle, Cleveland Browns, one of the best left tackles in the game.
Big dude.
And he's now an owner of Six Springs Farms and Hall of Fame Beef. So he's getting into the Wagyu game. And we're going to have him and Dr. Sheila Patinkin from Vermont Wagyu. He bought some of her herd and getting into the game. So, like, it's going to be an awesome conversation. So stick around, get ready for that, and go out to a nice restaurant and see if you can handle the French Brigade.
Yeah, you're right.
Let's go. All right, welcome to the Meat Dudes. We are meat obsessed, Wagyu focused, source driven, and barbecue influenced. I'm Evan.
Tyler.
There we go. And we are joined today. We have a huge guest. We are so excited for this guy. Mr. Joe Thomas needs no introduction. If you have ever watched a football game in your entire life, he is an NFL Hall of Famer, a Cleveland Browns legend, one of the greatest left tackles in the game, and Mr. Consecutive, man. I mean, like over 10,363 consecutive snaps played in the NFL. That's incredible. And Joe, so happy to have you here, man. How are you doing?
I'm doing great, man. I'm excited to be on the podcast. I've been a fan for a long time, so it's truly an honor to be here with you guys.
That's so cool, man. Like we're here in Seattle, and over here, we love our Seahawks, man. But for you, you're one of the guys that, like, I think everybody loves and understands, and like one of those guys that like just does it the right way all the time. Like that's when I think of you. When I think of Joe Thomas, I'm like consistent, does it the right way all the time, man. And for you, now you are, raising cattle. You've been doing it since about 2012, and you have Six Springs Farms, and you're launching Hall of Fame beef and Wagyu beef, man. And so tell us that journey, and let's get into it, man. What is Six Springs Farms all about?
Yeah, I'll give you the quick elevator story for us. So 2012, we did a baby moon, my wife and I. Very blessed. My wife and I, we've always loved to travel. And NFL budgets allow you to travel to cool places. So we were in Japan, and we were staying at the Park Hyatt, and we ate at the restaurant right at the top and had Wagyu beef for the first time. And I really didn't know anything about it. I just knew it was a good steak at the time. I got a call from a buddy, and he said, "Hey, I know you've been looking for a farm for since you got to the NFL in 2007. I found one that I think is perfect. It's in the driftless part of Wisconsin, which is a really unique, cool part of the world, really, that the glaciers didn't hit the last time through. So it's got these amazing bluffs and valleys and rivers and streams, and the wildlife is everywhere. It's got this amazingly fertile and productive soil. You should come take a look at it." So I got back from Japan, went out there, fell in love the second I walked on the property, bought it in 2012. And it wasn't actually until 2017, 18 when we started raising beef. Because my wife, she grew up out in the country, but not on a farm. But both of our families, going back to our grandparents, great grandparents, were farmers in Wisconsin. And my kids came to me because they had heard my wife had a pet cow, and she was little because her uncle was a dairy farmer. Back then, bull calves were worth nothing, so they just gave it to them, and then they raised it in their backyard. And so my kids heard that story and were like, "Dad, we got to get some cows on the farm." And the first thing I thought was like, well, that's awesome. I'm cool with pets. We got, a couple cats, and we're going to have a dog. But this is a pet that I can actually enjoy outside of their life. So I was like, yes, this sounds like a great idea. So I gave the task to her dad to figure out, all right, I don't know anything about this beef thing. Let's spend some money on it because I really want it to be high quality, awesome stuff, because this is what my family's going to eat. So then 2018, we got our first beef, Simmental Angus cross. We got 5 cows in a bull. And then 2 years later, we have a steer, 2 steers. And so we cut it up, started eating it, started giving out to family and friends. Everybody was raving about it, right? Because when you taste the difference between commercial beef that you get at the grocery store versus like something that you raise on your farm and your kids have been feeding it by hand since the thing was a calf, it's like, wow, there is a huge difference here. And so I gave it to one of my buddies who's a James Beard finalist chef, best chef in the Midwest, Dan Bonanno. He's got a restaurant in town. Because I wanted some unbiased opinion, because I didn't want to grow the
Yeah.
herd and start selling it. And then people would be like, well, this is just as good as the stuff I get at the grocery store. So I gave it to him and he was like, wow, this is as good as any of the stuff that I can buy. And at that point, we weren't really even trying. We weren't really doing much. Like we bought good genetics. We put them on pasture. They just were finished on grass. We didn't even finish them with corn.
Oh, wow.
And it was really good. And I was like, I need to figure out why, right? And it timed up pretty good because in 2017, I retired after that season from the NFL. And so I was really looking to put my passion and my energy into something, you know, that gets me out of bed every day, right? Like the kids, I got 4 kids. Like obviously they take a lot of time and a lot of passion, but I needed some work, some me time, right? Something that I could focus on and pour that obsession that I had with football into. And so I really got into beef at that point. And then in 2023, the year that I got into the NFL Hall of Fame, is when we started selling beef online and then do a few select restaurants.
Wow. So that was your Angus cross, right?
Yes. So we started out with those Simmental Angus, and then as the herd grew, we added some red Angus on top of the black Angus, and then we were switching out the bulls, and so we kind of had a mixed crossbreed herd, but they were all really good genetics. But it was going back to 2001 that I really dove into like the Wagyu game because it was coming out of COVID, so we started traveling a little bit more with the family. Went to Vegas with some friends at Nobu and had like a hot rock Wagyu experience, which was like mind blown. I'm like, what is this? This can't be beef. And then we took my oldest 2 daughters to Rome and we ate at this amazing restaurant called Aroma. It's a Michelin restaurant. It looks out over this area right by the Coliseum where the gladiators used to it was like their dormitory. And we did the tasting menu and they had a, how do you say it? It's a beef entrecote. Maybe you guys can help me.
You know that.
Basically, it's like the Italian, I think it's French clearly, but it's like a boneless ribeye, basically, that they must just sear really hot and then slice it. And at that point, I was like, whoa. Like my mission in 2018 when I started raising beef was to get pets for my kids. And then as I realized how amazing it was and realized how much I was still obsessed with food, even though I'd lost 60 pounds when I retired, I was like, I want to raise the best beef on planet Earth. This is a passion project. This is not a business for me. And it was in 2001 when I was sitting there with my wife where I was like, we need Wagyu. So I called back to my farm manager, Brandon. I was like, dude, we need to do Wagyu. You need to start researching this and figure it out because this stuff is another level. And this is what I need to pursue. This is the breed I need to pursue if I want to raise the best beef on planet Earth. And so it was really at that point when the snowball started rolling downhill where I was like, yeah, we're going to still raise our Angus and we're going to still raise, some other breeds because I'm just a curious person by nature. And I want to try all the heritage breeds. I want to get some Chianina and maybe some Hanmu from Korea and just kind of mix and match and experiment as a little scientist. But I'm like, I think Wagyu is the future for us.
Yes. Wagyu is the future, man. I agree. And so, so you've tried it a couple of times before this and you were just like, wow, this is amazing. But what was that one moment where you're like, why Wagyu? Why do you have to have Wagyu beef on this farm? Like, what is it about? Is it health? Is it just better beef? Like in your words, why Wagyu?
Yeah. So when we decided to make Six Springs Farms and Hall of Fame beef a business and start selling to people, like I've got a lot of pride in the things that I do, and anything I do, I want to be the best at it, right? That was my mentality as a football player, and I've always loved eating. I love feeding people. Like we love having friends and family over and like giving them the experiences that we're able to get when we travel and we go to these amazing restaurants and go to these amazing dinners that, you get opportunities like that when you're in the NFL Hall of Fame. But I want to bring it home here and I want to bring it to family and friends. And so Wagyu clearly was the best beef I'd ever tasted, and it's not even close, right?
Love it.
I love a good beefy Angus. I love like all beef. I love pork, chicken, like protein is my jam. But like Wagyu is just it's that step above. And then so when we started diving in and researching it, all of a sudden I realized like all these amazing health benefits. And as a guy that retired in 2017 and everyone's like, well, why did you hang it up early? You had still so much left. I'm like, dude, if you see the MRI on my knees, like I got no cartilage left. I'm in a lot of pain. I'm 310 pounds and I'm hurting every day. I slide down the stairs on my butt to be able to go out and practice, which almost never happened because I was almost never available. Like I got to get my knee drained. I got to get shots in my knee. And like, it was just this vicious cycle. And so I couldn't take it anymore. And so when I retired in 2017, 2018, I said, I need to lose weight. That's what the doctor said. He's like, unless you're going to get a knee replacement right now, which you're 35 or whatever, he's like, don't do that. He's like, you need to lose weight. And so that kind of went hand in hand with the Wagyu because I went keto, not true keto, high fat, but like low carb. And I lost 50 pounds. I felt amazing. And I realized like the power of food as medicine, which, sorry to ramble on, but like as a football player, I was a little guy. I wasn't a big lineman. I mean, I'm 6'7", 320, which is big by normal people standards. But like as a lineman, like I really had to eat a lot of sugar and bad stuff in my body just because I needed those calories to be able to put that weight on. And so when I kind of started focusing more on my own health because I wanted the inflammation benefits, I wanted to feel better, I wanted to be able to run around with my kids. I got into like that carnivore, keto, high protein, vegetables and protein was basically every meal, lost all the weight, felt amazing. And then now I'm researching Wagyu and starting to understand the high levels of omega-3s and omega-6s and oleic acid, which as we know, like oleic acid is the olive oil, right? It gives us that buttery texture when we're eating Wagyu because that fat melts at like 70 degrees, right? So you put it in your mouth, it's like an M&M. It's better than an M&M. It's like an adult M&M. You put it in your mouth, it starts melting, gives you that amazing
I'm talking to myself here.
Yeah, this is a mirror here, right here. But it was the way that that food was making me feel because the food is medicine. And I never really was able to put those two together because I wasn't able to parse out what I was eating when I was playing. Whereas now I'm done playing, it doesn't matter. So I can try like, hey, let's fast for 5 days, see what happens, right? Let's work out, let's train fasted and then not eat anything after and see how sore I'm going to be, right? And so I could kind of compare those things. And I was using myself as like a little lab with food just to see like, what was the food that my body liked and what was the food that it didn't like? And it turns out beef, turns out proteins, vegetables, like you feel really good. And then as I got into the Wagyu and started realizing the health benefits of that, it just was a no-brainer in my mind. Like, okay, this is the best tasting beef on earth, but it's also so good and healthy for you. And it actually is medicine, right? Which trying to teach friends, family, my kids, like the right way to eat and how important that is for your long-term health and happiness. And now being able to raise that high quality Wagyu on my farm. So I know what it's been eating and now I can eat that and I can feel good doing it. It was just like the perfect story for me. And then now we've just run with it.
That's amazing.
I love that so much. So many good tidbits in there, man. Like the health benefits. It's funny that people like Chef Tyler and I have been talking about this for a while. When people come into our butcher shop, we talk about the health benefits and they're like, oh, that's too fatty. And we're like, well, everything in moderation, of course, but these have high omega-3s, high omega-6s, it just some of the best oleic acid, in the fat, some of the best fat in the entire world, like healthier than salmon, healthier than olive oil. And people still don't believe it. So, for you, what are some of those misconceptions maybe you've heard, over the years? Because you actually tried Wagyu beef a while ago. That's pretty impressive. Not a lot of people have tried it it's been pretty popular here, I think, in the last maybe 5, 8, 10 years. But what are some of those misconceptions maybe you've heard in the past few years?
Yeah, I mean, Wagyu is kind of new to the American palate. It's new to the consumer. And so we don't know a whole lot about it. And typically the first thing anybody knows about Wagyu is Kobe beef, right? So they think that only Japanese Wagyu can be raised in Japan. And they think that Kobe beef is the only type of Wagyu. Like if it's not Kobe, it's not Wagyu. Well, Kobe is just a region. It's like, if you go to Tuscany and you have Chianti, like it can only be Chianti if it's raised like there in that little area, right? That doesn't mean that anybody else can't raise Chianti, make Chianti wine or champagne, same thing. So Kobe is just Japanese Wagyu raised in the Kobe prefecture. And then I try to explain the story, but sometimes people's eyes glaze over about how in the 90s and in the 70s also, like these American businessmen brought over a bunch of Wagyu because they realized how amazing this was. And Japan was still allowing some exports. And so, yes, it's not raised in Japan, but it is 100% traceable. These Japanese Wagyu are 100% traceable back to the animals that were 100% Wagyu, raised in Japan, brought over either as embryos or semen or as live animals from Japan. And in order to label them as 100% full blood Wagyu, they have to be able to be both parents directly descendants of those cattle from Japan. And so it's hard for people because it's such a new thing and they don't really know a whole lot about it. But I think the key is to get them to taste it. And then they're willing to understand and open up their minds.
Cannot wait for the comments. I I can't wait.
No, it's so funny.
So good.
No, I love it. And when we talk a lot about Wagyu, we talk about how great it is, how good it is for you, but people immediately go, "Oh, well, I can't afford that. Like, there's no way I can afford that." And we always like to share, there's so many different cuts on the cow, so many different types of Wagyu beef, right? So a pound of A5 ribeye that costs you maybe $200. Yeah, a lot of people can't afford that, can't eat that every single night. But, if you want to get an F1 cross skirt steak, I mean, we sell that in our butcher shop for about $22 a pound, which is one of the best steaks you'll ever have in your life. And we sell to the Seattle Mariners. We sell a ton of the Denver steaks, the Zabutons. They come in and buy the heck out of them, man. They're awesome. But like those steaks will have these amazing Zabuton steaks, Denver steaks for like $18. And they look like the most amazing marbled, beautiful, full-blood steaks you'll ever see. And so that is so funny to me that people are just, they go immediately to like, yeah, it's Kobe, it's from Japan, this is fake here, you're just trying to, it's a marketing scheme, there's it's not real. But for us, we love to share that there's so many cuts. You can get them $15, $20, $30 and get a nice full blood ribeye for $80, $90 and share it with a couple people and have a great time.
You know how many times we've been called elitists? we're meat elitists. I'm like,
yes.
Whatever.
I love
Thanks
it.
for the compliment. I appreciate that. I do love meat. I love all meats, but
I love it.
When people say, "Oh, it's too expensive," it's like the first thing I'll say to them is, is your health too expensive? Like, have you been to the doctor lately? Like, I had my hip replaced 3 months ago, and not that was related to anything but football, but like it's like $80,000 to get a joint replacement. Like, you go to the doctor, it's going to be a lot, thousands and thousands. If you take care of your health along the way, you're going to spend a heck of a lot less on all the diseases and all the injuries and all the problems that you have medically, because you're taking care of yourself. You're eating good quality, high nutritious meals that it's going to pay for itself in the long run. You're investing in your own health, which I'm willing to invest in my health and spend a little bit more. Now, granted, I'm in a different situation because I played in the NFL, but I get the idea of, thinking on the margin and like, okay, well, this box of macaroni and cheese is $2 and I can feed, 3 kids with that. But like, it's those decisions over time that you make with your own health and with the food that you're putting in your body that's going to lead to a lot of bad consequences down the line that are going to be way more costly than spending a little bit more to know where your food came from, to buy high quality, good, nutritious ingredients, whole foods, and make your own meal, learn how to cook for yourself. Like, these are all the lessons that I'm trying to teach my kids that are going to pay huge dividends down the line. But on top of that, it's like you mentioned, okay, if I go to the local fast food burger joint with my 4 kids, it's going to be $75 or $100. So like, if I buy 2 or 3 pounds of Wagyu, you don't have to buy the ribeye, but if you're buying, like you said, like the Denver Coulette or a tri-tip for the family, like, you're going to spend less than that. And you're going to have a meal that is not only way better for you, but it's going to be 10 times as tasty and memorable than if you just go down to the fast food place and you spend $80 or $100 on your family getting burger and fries.
And you might have leftovers.
Yeah, you have leftovers. And you know what? If we got a garden, it's pretty cheap to raise your own vegetables. And if you take some leftover Wagyu, like, you don't have to eat a pound of Wagyu every time you sit down. Yeah. As a matter of fact, I probably wouldn't recommend eating a pound of ribeye every time you have a meal. But if you cut it up and you put it as part of a whole ingredient meal that you're making with some vegetables that you raised or you bought from the farmer's market, you can eat that for 2 or 3 meals and you can have an amazing experience. And it cost $100 and you were able to feed the family 3 meals, which is way cheaper than you can even buy crap that's already been prepackaged and you throw in the microwave for a few minutes and heat it up for dinner. It just takes a little bit of intentionality and a little bit of planning when you're making your meals. And it goes so far, not only with just the health benefits, but the enjoyment of what you're doing and what you're putting in your body and those meal times that you're experiencing with family and friends, and you're making those memories.
Love it. So true.
I love it, dude. So Evan and I both have kids, and his little meat turkey can pound.
She's 4.
He's 4, and she can pound a 10-ounce steak, no problem.
Like, no bullshit. She'll eat
That's
like a
awesome,
10-ounce
man.
steak, dude. I got an 18-year-old stepson, and she eats more meat than him. She's just
That's amazing.
crazy. She's meat spoiled.
I've got a 14 and a half, almost 15-year-old boy who's playing basketball, so he eats a lot.
Yeah.
And a 9-year-old daughter who, when I ask her what she wants for her birthday dinner, she wants a Wagyu tenderloin.
Wow, she is bougie. You got your hands full there.
Yeah,
I love it. I love
we're
it.
training them right.
That's right.
Yes.
That's
No,
right.
I love
It
it.
is. I'll say one of the things that has been really cool about raising my own beef is like, the kids feed them as calves. We give them a lot of them names. Now we have more than 5, so we don't have enough kids in my family to name all of our steers after our kids anymore. But like them understanding that experience of like, this is where my food comes from. This was the animal that I fed and that I cared for. And that was like a member of the family, lived an amazing life. And then now I get to enjoy that again. And it tastes really good because it's so hard for kids to get them to eat protein a lot of times because they usually want the processed crap with the added sugars. And the more sugars you eat, the more you're feeding the gut bacteria that wants more sugar, and it talks to your brain through the vagal nerve. Like, it just produces this vicious cycle. And so when we found, oh my gosh, my kids will eat my own beef because they know the animals, like, and they love it. It's like, wow, we need to hold on to this. And then we also make beef sticks and jerky with our stuff. And that is like the gateway drug for kids eating a lot of protein because they go crazy over the beef sticks. We make an apple cheddar beef stick. We don't dry it out. It's, you got to keep it refrigerated and it's vacuum sealed, but it's so moist and like the buttery mouthfeel that it has because our animals obviously have a lot more intermuscular fat and it's just a different level. And now they ask for it for snacks instead of coming home and trying to eat popcorn or chips or candy or whatever. And like, it just makes me so happy as a dad that my kids are making better food choices because we made the decision to raise as much of the food that we're eating and putting on the table on our farm or in our backyard garden as possible. And then now, hopefully, we're setting in motion those healthy eating habits because food is medicine, like I said before.
You're right, and that's a good transition. I heard you say that you like treating your beef like pro athletes. Like you feed them, you raise them, like you understand. Because I mean, to be in the NFL for 11 years and play over 10,000 consecutive snaps, like how you need to treat your body, and how your body reacts to stress, and what to feed your body. So, how do you treat these animals like pro athletes?
Yeah, it's been really cool. I mean, I didn't grow up on a farm. I grew up outside of Milwaukee in the suburbs. I was always a country boy. I always loved going outside and fishing and hunting and camping with my dad. That's like what we did as a family. We didn't take trips to Florida or wherever. Like we went outside into Canada and did a canoe trip up in Quetico or the Boundary Waters in Minnesota. And like, that's what we did as a family. And so I was always a country boy at heart, but never had a farm until 2012 when we bought that. But at that point, I realized like how joyful it was to raise some of your own stuff and have that little space in the country to be able to go to with family and make those memories. And it was really cool for me to be able to see the kids like really adapt to that farm lifestyle. And we actually, during COVID, lived out there for 5 or 6 months, just on the farm with the kids. We did the homeschooling thing and stuff. But it's been really easy for me to understand the importance of the detail in raising Wagyu and getting that finished product that's highly marbled, that's highly nutritious. Because going back to my background in the NFL, like we were obsessed with nutrition. Now, I didn't always know a lot about it early on because I mentioned like I was a little guy trying to gain weight. So I just ate everything. I just knew I had to feel like every time I pushed away from that table, I had to feel like I just finished the Thanksgiving meal. And that's just how I had to have that mentality. I mean, I was eating like a pint of ice cream before bed with a sleeve of Girl Scout cookies. And then I'd wash it down with like 20 ounces of whole milk because I just needed those calories. But then kind of like losing weight when I retired, went through that wellness health journey and really started learning how food affected my body. And then understanding as a pro athlete how important nutrition is and like how it affects your body, how important stress, sleep is, and things like that, and how they really truly affect you in a significant way. And being able to feel those things, and then reading how to raise Wagyu and listening to podcasts like your guys's, and listening to people like Dr. Sheila Patinkin from Vermont Wagyu, and understanding like, okay, there are so many similarities to how a pro athlete has to eat and train and treat their body to how we have to handle and treat these animals, from the way we care for them, for the way we handle them with a very low stress environment. You're never pushing them, never doing anything that they really don't want to do, and just handling them with velvet gloves, right? And you get an amazing product when you do things the right way. And then understanding, like, I think one of the challenges of people that grew up farming, it's like you did what your dad did, and he does what his grandpa did. And so you kind of learn those things, and it works for them, right? Because obviously it's really hard being a family farmer. Like, the margins are tiny. And so they're afraid to change what they've always done that's worked, that's kept the farm and the family for a long time. Whereas me, I'm coming into this game like I don't really know anything. So I'm willing to try anything. And so, trying to humble myself, have no ego, and talk to as many people as possible about what's the right way to do these things. And so I'm like, probiotics? Of course I want probiotics for my animals. Like, gut health is huge for humans. Of course it's huge for a ruminant that's got way more gut than I do. He's got lots of stomachs, and like their ability to digest and use nutrition, and then how that affects their quality of their meat. Like, that makes perfect sense to me. So yeah, of course we need the vitamins, we need the minerals, we need the probiotics, we need the right balanced rations. We need to keep the stress super low. We need to reduce their cortisol. We need to do all these things because the finished product tells us that it matters. And so it's been really easy for me to understand. And I don't try to act like I know everything about Wagyu, but when I hear stuff and I learn new things, it always is, that light bulb's like, yeah, that makes sense, because that's exactly how a pro athlete would treat their body.
Yeah, absolutely. That's awesome to hear, though, that we're so big on where your meat comes from and how it's raised. And there's so many terrible beef stories, and we all know big egg and everything like that, and big beef, how awful some of that stuff can be. And that's why we try to talk to all these different farmers that really understand how to raise cattle, and especially with Wagyu. That's why I think we are so drawn to Wagyu, is because it's really hard to cut corners. These things, they take longer to raise. You have to do it the right way, and if you cut corners, you're losing out on they're more expensive, so you're losing out on some of that money at the end of the day. And so, man, for me, I just think, we're so excited about this product, about having Joe Thomas on Team Wagyu, man. Like, I keep going back to it, man. But let's. I think Dr. Sheila Patinkin is probably going to jump in. I told her to jump in here pretty soon. But let's talk about, before that, I wanted to get into, we spoke a little bit earlier about Germany, about you going over to Germany to coach football in Germany. And we like to talk about Wagyu all over the world, because everybody knows it comes from Japan. We have American Wagyu in the United States. And after that, we get it in Australia, New Zealand, of course. But after that, there's not a lot of talk about it. So did you see any Wagyu beef and cool meat over in Germany while you're over there?
I did. So we were living in Munich. I was coaching the Munich Ravens professional football team, and Munich's a really cool melting pot city. It's got all these big multinational corporations and people coming in from all over the world to work there. And so they've got some great restaurants, tons of Michelin restaurants, tons of just great butcher shops, and great restaurants that cater to all these international cuisines. So we did get to eat really, really well when we were over there. And we did see quite a few restaurants. La Boheme was one it's a French steakhouse that was right around the corner from our apartment. So we ate there a bunch. And that was kind of the date night, because they had Wagyu from Japan and Australia and the United States. And they had, Angus from the United States. So there was a lot of similar type restaurants like that, and we got to experience a lot of beef from all over the world. But I will say, not to hate on the Germans, but they don't really raise great beef over there, because they just don't have the capabilities, the setup. They don't have a large enough pastures. They don't have lush enough pastures, because especially like in the southern part of the country, the fertility in the soil is just not there to be able to really handle raising really high quality beef. So the beef that we got locally was okay. We ate a lot more pork and a lot more chicken when we were over there, actually, because they do a really good job with pork. And like, pork is like in every dish in Germany, smothered in gravy. So not maybe the healthiest thing all the time, but it was really cool being able to go to some of these steakhouses that you walk in. They've got the big dry or wet ager refrigerator in front, and it's got steaks that are hanging from literally all over the world. And then you can kind of decide and choose like, well, I'd like to try the Japanese Kobe today. I'd like to try, the American certified Angus, and just getting that opportunity to taste the different flavor profiles, different tenderness, different mouthfeels. And I'll never hate on any protein unless it was just raised really poorly or not handled the right way. Because man, I love chicken, I love pork, I love lamb, I love everything you can imagine that's got high protein, because it's just delicious, and my body loves me for it when I put it in there.
Oh, yeah. So if you had to cook a steak, what cut is your favorite? And we talk about this. I get upset when people when they look at Wagyu and they go, no, just give me a ribeye. And I'm like, cool. Yeah. Well, like, what type of ribeye? Like, what if there's an F1 cross ribeye or a prime ribeye or a choice ribeye or a Wagyu ribeye or A5 ribeye? So if you had to cook a steak, what type of meat on the scale of Wagyu or choice or prime, what would you have? What cut and what would you have?
So typically what I would do if I had friends over, I would make like an appetizer. And this was not Wagyu. This is just, regular Angus or any other domestic breed. And I'll do a skirt steak, and I'll put like a Jamaican seasoning on it, and I'll sous vide it for like 5 or 6 hours to make it super tender. And then I'll just hit it really quick on the grill to just get a nice char on the outside. And it's got such amazing flavor to it because of the high fat profile. Even if you're just getting like a choice cut skirt, it's fairly cheap. And it's got great flavor. It's got unbelievable marbling and fat to it that just really melts in your mouth. And then when I put that Jamaican seasoning on it, like the jerk seasoning, it has a little bit of sugar in there, so it kind of caramelizes. You get that Maillard reaction on the outside, and then you just slice it thin. And everyone loves it as like a little appetizer with toothpicks, or throw it in a taco. Do whatever you want with it. It's really good. But as far as the Wagyu goes, like I've always been a strip guy, and I just love New York strip. And I'm learning too, like the right way to cook Wagyu is a little bit lower. You don't want to throw it right on a hot flame, like put it in the cast iron. I did a ribeye a couple days ago in a wood fired oven in a cast iron, and you slide it in there with a little bit of Wagyu beef tallow on the bottom. So it kind of like sizzles on the bottom, and then it's getting that infrared heat from the wood fired oven on the top, and it came out just unbelievable. Oh my gosh, my mouth is watering.
Coming over, dude. I want some meat.
Let's go. Oh man, so
I love it. Getting some meat sticks. We're gonna have our
baby
New York strip.
So when you have a New York strip, this is me and Tyler's favorite. There's that nice fat cap on top. Are you cutting that off, or are you doing what Chef Tyler does, is cutting it into little pieces so you have a bite of fat and a bite of meat with every single bite?
Oh yeah. So what I did this week when I was doing in that wood fired oven, start with that fat cap, right? Yep. Try to render that fat as much as possible, and then sear both sides. But then when I cut it, I make sure that each cut has a little bit of that fat cap in it, so you're able to enjoy that. And it was great because that fat cap almost turns into like beef bacon when you start it on the cast iron like that. So it gets really super crispy, and that crispiness is so good because the Wagyu beef is so tender. It literally like melts in your mouth when you put it in there. So having that little bit of crispiness from that fat, that like beef bacon, just adds a good contrast, I think, in your mouth to the buttery Wagyu meat with that crispy fat on the outside. It just is the perfect bite.
That's how I like my culotte.
Yeah, the culotte. Yeah, that's another great one that we love to do.
I like to do whole roasted culotte too. Like I score the fat a little bit. Slide it in the cast iron pan and just leave it fat side down and roast the whole thing in the oven.
Yes,
so good. So good. I love it.
Tri-tip like that is
the fat on. That's Chef Tyler's, and the fat on tri-tip is his go-to, dude.
So good.
Do you smoke it, or do you like reverse sear?
Both.
Both, of course. That's the beauty of Wagyu, is like you can take any cut on the animal and you can cook it almost any way, as long as you don't burn it and throw it right on a hot flame, and it's going to be incredible because every piece has got that tenderness. And that was one of the things, as I had already decided, like Wagyu's it. But then I started realizing, like, oh my gosh, like for somebody who's raising these animals and trying to sell it all, right? I don't want to just grind it all up into burgers or put them all in beef sticks. Like it's great to have some of these off cuts that maybe if you had it off of a domestic or commercial breed, like it'd be a little tough. It'd be like, you have to be very good as a chef to be able to cook some of these other cuts and make them really tasty for people. But with the Wagyu, like anybody can take it home. And as long as they have some level of experience in the kitchen, they're going to make any cut amazing.
Dude, we love that. We talk about that there's so many more stakeable items on the cow, on a Wagyu
Yeah.
cow. And then when people tell me it's too expensive, I'm like, well, don't get the ribeye. Don't get the Hollywood cuts. Let's get something else. You could get a picanha or a Wagyu top sirloin even is like one of the greatest cuts we've ever cooked in here. Like, it's unbelievable. And we went to this Wagyu auction at Bar R Ranch in Eastern Washington, which is like Dr. Jerry Reeves, just, one of the old school, one of the godfathers up there, on Mount Rushmore of Wagyu. It's his farm, and his daughter helps him run it as well now too, Arlie, and she's a big fan of the show. She's one of our connects over there, man. And they did a demonstration. They were cutting the leg. They took a whole leg of the cow, and they were cutting steaks off of it. And it was so crazy. They were testing it, like, can this be tender enough? Is this not? And most of it, like 80% of it, was like amazing. We're eating it like we're eating a New York strip, just cutting into it, and it was unreal, And so, like, there's so much more, because in the beef industry, where does the ground go? That's the biggest thing. I've got this 1,000-pound cow. Everybody wants the goddamn ribeyes and New Yorks and tenderloins, and nobody else wants anything else. So, like, where's all this grind gonna go? But now, if we can make them into stakeable items and people can just take them and cook easily, like, to me, it's next level. It's like this amazing animal that is just gonna be next level, and they're gonna be cheaper too. Like I said, you could get a great steak for $20. So the accessibility is amazing.
Think about the value in that animal too, with more stakeable items. Because choice Angus hind leg, there's not much to get out of there. You're not going to do top round roast every day. But with Wagyu and the intermuscular fat content and all that, there's so many more cuts in the animal.
Yeah,
value is just huge.
One of the things that I'm really passionate about is trying to promote small family farms, right? And that's why I love your podcast, because you're talking about where does your food come from? Where does your beef come from? How is it raised? And I think as I'm looking at the market as a whole for beef and for farm raised products, times are really tough for small family farmers right now, because the big guys, they're getting more efficient and the margins are getting smaller. But I think promoting Wagyu is so great, not because I just wanted to buy Hall of Fame beef, but I think Wagyu is a breed that actually can allow a lot of these small family farms that might be going out of business in the next 20 years a viable option to be able to compete with the commercial feedlots. Because I know one thing is, like, with embryo transfer right now and the genetics that a lot of these big commercial feedlots have access to, they're able to raise some really pretty high quality stuff, and it doesn't cost them that much. And they have the scale to be able to outcompete the small family farmer. But with Wagyu, it takes a lot more time, care, calm handling, patience to be able to develop the marbling that gives you that premium experience that the commercial people just can't do. Because the one thing that scale does is it gives you an opportunity to beat people on price. But what it doesn't do is allow you to custom raise each individual animal, know every animal by name, know their personality, know what they need from a feed standpoint, and to change and to be able to give that quality and care that Wagyu needs to be able to express their genetics fully. And then you're able to get that premium when you sell it. And so versus mass-produced beef, I think the small family farmer, you're going to go out of business if you're trying to outcompete with the big people. But with Wagyu, they're not going to be able to give that care that it needs to be able to express those genetics. So it gives the small family farmer a viable option and ability to kind of keep the doors open and keep that small family farm in the family name and pass it down from the next generation. Because I think Wagyu is that difference maker that I think a lot of more family farms need to look into and really dive into the way me and my family have, because it is that thing that we can do better than the big commercial feedlot operators and the people that are buying beef from all over the country and shipping them into these big feedlots, because Wagyu just doesn't turn out well enough to be able to draw that premium price when it is raised in those huge scale manners.
I love that. I was actually just going to ask you about scaling Wagyu beef, and I think that was a perfect answer, because I like to talk about where's Wagyu going in the next 10 years, and that is a perfect answer to it, because you can compete now, and And that makes such a world of difference, because it's just going to make better beef. And you're right, the big dogs, they don't got time for it. They got to just pump out as much as possible, as fast as possible. And so that's exactly why we love talking to all these family farms. And speaking of talking to family farms, we are joined here by Dr. Sheila Patinkin of Vermont Wagyu. Hello. How are you doing, Dr. Sheila? I think you might be muted. Let's try it again here. Oh, can't hear you.
Oh, I had myself muted. My miss.
Oh, no problem. Hey, so we are joined here by Dr. Sheila Patinkin of Vermont Wagyu. We spoke with you about a month ago. It was such an amazing conversation. You are you'd be on the Mount Rushmore of Wagyu beef here, I like to always say, in the United States. Head of the American Wagyu Association, president of the American Wagyu Association for a few years. And so why are you joining us, Dr. Sheila? What's the significance here between you and Hall of Fame Beef here with Mr. Joe Thomas?
Well, Joe, do you want me to field this one?
Sure.
Joe is about to
Go
receive
ahead.
a truckload of Vermont Wagyu products.
Yes.
Am I coming through all right? Of Wagyu cows?
Yep, we got you.
Okay. Did
Yeah.
that come through okay?
Yeah, we got you. So you guys are
Good.
working together. Joe's purchasing some of the Vermont Wagyu herd and is going to start his own Wagyu herd at Six Springs Farm. Is that correct?
That's right.
Wow.
So we have some of the nicest animals in the herd that are headed Joe's way. We know that he'll take good care of them. We're very proud to be able to share some of our livestock with Joe.
You do have some of the nicest beef. You sent us one of the most amazing Wagyu ribeyes that I've ever seen, and it was so good that I actually went on your website and ordered more for Father's Day. I was like,
and I missed it.
I'm cooking this stuff.
Usually I catch it when somebody orders that I know, but I guess I missed your name.
No,
I'm glad you enjoyed it.
It's amazing, and it's really great. When we talked about, you're on the East Coast. We don't know a lot of people that are on the East Coast raising Wagyu, and you have done such an amazing job throughout the years. Just branding and helping grow the whole entire Wagyu industry. And so, what does it feel like now to have someone like Joe Thomas take on some of these cattle of yours and be able to push it through his network and hopefully expand Wagyu even more?
It's actually part of my dream is really to be able to spread and build the herd. And when you've got somebody like Joe who can give the time and attention and the artisanal expertise to the animals themselves, it makes me feel really good that, first of all, they're going to a great home. And second of all, that he's going to build on what we have been building, what we've taken years and years to breed into these animals. So I'm very happy for Joe, and I know that he'll do just a great job with these animals.
Joe, why did you pick Vermont Wagyu?
Well, it's interesting. So about 4 years ago or so, when I had that Wagyu experience in Rome, and I was like, dude, we need Wagyu. We found a local producer that had Akaushi, and so we got into Akaushi first. And so we're raising some F1s, some purebred Akaushis. And then I started doing more research and realizing, okay, if my goal is this passion project called Hall of Fame Beef, where I'm trying to raise the best steaks, the best beef on planet Earth from a taste standpoint and a quality and a health standpoint, I think we need black Wagyu because they are clearly the number one Wagyu sub-breed within the Wagyu game. And so we went to an auction down in Texas this past year, the M6 Wagyu auction, one of the biggest Wagyu auctions in America. And at that point, I realized, okay, we need to do embryo transfer. We need to find some high-level semen because I want to kickstart this and get this going as fast as possible. Like, I don't want to have my kids creating the best beef on planet Earth. I want to do it and then pass it on to them. And so we went down there, we bought 6 cows and we bought a bull, and then we started harvesting embryos and semen and stuff. But then after that, my two ranch hands, they started when they were in middle school mowing lawn for me, right?
Wow.
And they grew up in farming country. Their grandparents had beef, but they didn't have an obvious way to take over a family farm. It's so expensive to buy a farm. And they always had told me, like, hey, we would love to work for you for the rest of our life, but we'd really love to raise beef. And so they started helping me when they were even in high school. And then now they're 20 and 22 and they are full time. They are my dudes, my supermen on the farm every single day, doing everything that you can imagine. So I couldn't be down there at the auction, so I sent them down there with some instructions. And as you can imagine, if you go to like some of these big cattle auctions, right, there's this two dweebs from Wisconsin, 20 and 22 years old, never been on an airplane before, and they're raising their paddle when these cows are going through at like $20,000-$30,000, and so everyone's like looking around like, who the hell are these guys? You can't afford that. And so after it was all over, the M6 owners kind of got to know Hayden and Sawyer, who worked for me, and kind of kept in touch. And then it wasn't too long after that they got a message saying, hey, there's this producer out in Vermont Wagyu, that is interested in selling a large majority of their breeder cows, their genetic cows, because they're kind of stepping in a different direction and going to focus a little bit more on raising feeders and fats through all the genetic process and progress that they've made over 20 years. And they're looking for a good home, basically, for their animals, right? And somebody who's going to kind of continue the legacy, do things the same way from the same value standpoint, and try to kind of continue to like push the ball down the field a little bit from what they've already done. And when I heard that they kind of reached out to us and they heard about our story, I was like, oh, absolutely. Let's go. I need to get on the phone immediately and talk to whoever these people are. And so then I dove in and started doing the research and realized, like, okay, not only have they been in the game for a long time, Vermont Wagyu, but they're the best in the game. And they've been doing it for a long time. And they're using the same process with the same values as we do, which was really important to me because I didn't want to change any of my values in how we're raising these animals. Like, the care for the animals, the feed, everything that goes into it is really important. And I think that was originally why we stumbled into raising really good beef, was because of how we treated the animals, the pastures that we have along the banks of the Blue River, the fact that we're not shipping them all over the place. We got everything right there. They just move less than a mile when they go up in the winter to where they winter in our barn. So we wanted somebody that had the same values and ideas and vision for their cattle as we did. Dr. Sheila's obviously at Vermont Wagyu done way more than anybody else in the country that I know of for the genetic process and the way that they've bred their animals and the way they've finished their animals. And it speaks in the steaks and what's on your plate in front of you. So it was just a matter of figuring out how quickly can we get these animals out here. So we got the first group, a month or so, 2 months ago maybe, and started harvesting some embryos. We were able to get some steers, some feeder steers from them as well, because we said, hey, we want to be able to offer some of this amazing quality product pretty soon to our consumers. We don't want to have to wait 4 years from right now to be able to now start offering Hall of Fame 100% Japanese Wagyu with the Vermont Wagyu genetics that are the best in the country, that are consistently winning best steaks in the USA awards. And so it's been just really awesome. And it's humbling for me to know that the Sheila Patinkin, who's on the Mount Rushmore of raising Wagyu, found us and saw our story and realized and said that, hey, this is the farm. This is where I want my herd that I put so much into my life to be able to take them and hopefully kind of continue along in the same manner that we've done. So it's really been an exciting year for us in the Black Wagyu business and game. And I'm so excited and humbled that Dr. Sheila continues to put her trust in us.
Yes.
Well, thank you, Joe. Those are kind words.
I love it. Hey, whenever we talk to anybody in the Wagyu game, they always know Dr. Sheila. And so, yeah, you chose a good one. Absolutely, for sure, man. And like I said, we tried that Wagyu. We even had some people who typically didn't like Wagyu beef or thought they didn't like Wagyu beef. When we cooked up that ribeye, we were like, hey, bro, get over here and try this. You're like, oh, actually, this is really good.
Don't get me started, Ev.
So did Jess send you the steak that was 52% IMF?
Oh.
Yeah. Yeah.
So that steak, that ribeye portion, is going to be entered into the American Wagyu Association steak whimsy. So
Yes.
it's pretty amazing.
We're going to be hosting that in
I saw
Idaho.
that.
Yeah, we're going to be hosting that best steak in America from the American Wagyu Association. Oh, that's going to be fun. Yeah, that steak was like insane. We were looking at it and we were like, this is the closest thing I've ever seen to A5. Like it was. We're like this. Yeah, I asked people and they were like, yeah, I think that's A5. I was like, oh, it's full blood, raised in America. So
Better yet, Evan, it's American A5 or the
American
equivalent.
A5. That's
I
a
think
new.
that
That's
could surpass Japanese beef.
I love that. There should be an American A5 here soon. I know that'll piss off some people, but we always talk about why we aren't using the the Japanese marbling scale, but we should have that. I mean, that would have qualified. It was unreal when we held that up. I was like, we're taking it out of the bag. We're like, what the hell is this? I love it. Hey Joe, how much A5 can you eat in one sitting?
Ooh, I can still eat a lot, even though I'm not 310 pounds anymore. I can put a hurt on myself because I probably eat a couple pounds of it, but then I'm not going to feel good for a little while. That's a lot of richness. I'm going to have to eat a lot of roughage with that meal to be able to handle all that delicious fat.
Yeah, we don't encourage people to eat over a pound. That'll
not in one meal at least.
Yeah, exactly. That'll hurt you. That'll hurt you. Oh my God, I love it. That's so awesome. And when we're talking about, I mean, genetics are such a big part of Wagyu, and people will say that, oh no, it's the feed. Well, yes, the feed is amazing. The feed helps so much, but it's the foundation to us is the genetics. And so you chose, Dr. Sheila Patinkin's Vermont Wagyu genetics. What are you feeding these cattle? Are you going to go grass fed, grass finished? Are you going to add some corn in there since you're in the Midwest? How's that going to go?
Yeah, so the first steers that we finished, we were just finishing on grass because we didn't think anything of it. We're like, oh, we got great pasture. Here we go, and it was great. I do a lot of hunting, so I'm used to eating a lot of game, and that doesn't bother me if it's grassy or gamey at all. And it had a little bit of that, but I kind of liked it. But I noticed that a lot of people who are not used to eating venison and stuff like that, with the grass fed, they didn't really love that, right? They like the corn fed, they like the beefiness that they're used to. And so we kind of changed our finishing ration where now we raise all of our alfalfa hay and corn silage. We raise non-GMO corn silage. And so our ration has the brewer's mash, the corn silage that we raise, and then our alfalfa hay, minerals, probiotics. And that's kind of what we're going with. But one of the things that I was so excited about having that partnership with Dr. Sheila was just to be able to tap into their knowledge base of a couple decades of, hey, this is what we've tried, because we've tried a lot of stuff, and this is what we really think works really well. And to be able to kind of accelerate our program, 2 decades right away from not only the genetic side, but how you finish those animals and being able to use Dr. Sheila as a resource. And that was one of the things that when we had our first call, and I think we were kind of vetting each other a little bit, I was like, will you be a resource for us? Because this is just as important as buying the great genetics, because you can buy fantastic genetics, right, at an auction or something. It's going to cost you a lot, but like that's available. But for having Vermont Wagyu and Dr. Sheila as a resource to be able to pick up the phone and say, hey, we're having this problem, or we need some consultation on these things, and to be able to get those answers, to me, that's worth even more than the amazing genetics and the cows and the bulls that we got from Dr. Sheila, because to me, that's invaluable.
But we're always here.
And that's what's great about the Wagyu industry that we found as well, is everybody's willing to really, give up that information and talk openly. I mean, I talk to I call so many ranchers all over the US now, and everyone is like, they tell me what they feed, and like, no one's really keeping these secrets because everybody wants this industry to grow, because it should grow, because it's good for you beef that tastes better than anything. And that's what I love about this industry right now, because we came into it 2020, we were newbies with Wagyu, and all of a sudden we met Arlie at Bar R and Dr. Jerry Reeves, and then all of a sudden it's like boom, it just exploded, and we're talking to Dr. Sheila, and I'm talking to Akushi, legendary Akushi in the Midwest too, and like everybody just from all over, and it's just a fascinating industry because it's so helpful, and everybody, like I said, they want this thing to grow because it's just going to be better beef for the U.S. and it needs to. And that, right now, like it's not even. I love to say it's not even that much more expensive. Like I keep pushing that up there because it like frustrates me so much. Probably because I read like TikTok comments all day long and that's all that people say. I'm just like, God, no, I'm like replying to every single one. But it means so much, to be able to have these resources, like you said.
And I think one of the things we've learned after being in the Wagyu game for just a couple of years is, like you mentioned, how open and how much it feels like a big family and how much people are willing to help each other. And I was surprised by that because I would think that like people are going to be defensive and they don't want other people having their secrets and stuff. But one of the things I said earlier about how, especially the full blood Wagyu, it takes a level of care that only I think a family farmer is able to give. Like a huge scale farm can't handle raising full blood Wagyu because they just can't do it. They can't give that personalized care that you need, and they don't have the patience to raise an animal for 30 months. And I think that people in the Wagyu business realize that the Wagyu breed is what can potentially save the family beef farmer and the small farm, because it does give you enough profit to be able to live on. I mean, nobody's getting rich, but it'll give you the ability to make enough money to cover your costs, to be able to pass this on to the next generation, because it's a competitive advantage that we have over the big farms. And that's probably the only one that we have, because other than that, they're getting good genetics in the breeds that they're raising because of embryo transfers and the genetics improvements that they've had. They have this huge scale. They have all these other resources to be able to lower their overall costs, like a Walmart. And if you're going to try to do the same things that they do, you're going to lose because they're going to be able to sell it for cheaper. But Wagyu is different. I think the people that are in the game, they realize that, and that's why they want to help each other, because they see that this is the future of being able to save family farms long term. And I think, for most people in America, you dream of an America that has those family farms, that has those kids that are raised on the farm, that are doing their chores every day. They're feeding their cows, they're feeding their chickens. And it's not just a romantic idea. I think it's an idea that produces better food and better food quality. And I think people maybe, hopefully in the United States, are starting to understand how important that is for your health and wellness and your happiness and just eating high quality foods.
Yes. So on that note, for both of you, how do we get Wagyu beef out to more consumers right now? Is it through restaurants? Is it through starting co-ops and selling, farm to consumer? What's the best way to like get this industry out there even more?
I think it's PR. There's a huge part of PR getting consumer awareness, but I would say the word is out. When I first started this, nobody even knew how to pronounce the word Wagyu or even what it was. And now I think the recognition of Wagyu in the grocery stores, I can find it even in my local supermarket here in Vermont. Yeah. So word is out. I think we just have to continue to build on the excellency of the meat. We cannot allow its standards to drop. Mm-hmm. And also just spreading the word through more and more PR and just doing our homework. Yeah.
No, I absolutely. And we talk a little bit about like commercial Wagyu, like that's a term that's starting to come out. And then we, last time we spoke, Dr. Sheila, you really were very high on pushing these small farms, especially these full-blood farms, and really letting people know that the quality is there with these small full-blood farms. What does that mean, in the Wagyu world right now? What is that, how is that going to push it through even further?
I think if we could get a consistent word of excellency out there, consistent grade, more importantly, and just knowing that the authenticity is there as well. It's really both things. It's authenticity, it's the grading of it. We have to keep those standards high. And if we let them fall, if we slip on them and allow a lower grade, a lower level of authenticity to get out there under the name Wagyu, then we're fooling ourselves. We're not going to be able to maintain the excellency of the breed.
I mean,
Totally.
well said. Absolutely.
Hubby and I talk about the grading a lot because we really want a world grading system, not just, because Australia has their own numbers and the 9s and the 12s and you got your A5, you got the F, blah, blah, blah. It's like kind of confusing for some people that don't really do a whole lot of research into what all those numbers mean.
Yeah.
So we're kind of going to bat a little bit, trying to get the world to all get together and decide on how we're going to grade all this beef. So then, it's a little bit more recognizable, I think, to people, the average consumer.
Yeah. Right.
I think one thing that's
Tyler,
cool that
I think that's something we have struggled with as the American Wagyu Association is what to use. And I think inevitably, if you were to approach the USDA, they would probably say, well, we're the United States. We're going to use the United States grading system. And it's kind of like saying to the United States, well, we'd like you to start using the metric system, but that's been in the works for I don't know how many years. And if you think that we're going to change suddenly from the imperial to the metric, that just isn't going to happen here. I think what we have to do is continuously work on improving the grades of prime that we have available. Right now, we've got 4. And when I first started, we only had 1. So the expansion to 4 is great. However, my Wagyu, on average, is above the 4th level, the highest level. So we have our homework to do there. Prime has to continue to grow.
I get it.
I think one of the cool things that I'm hearing that's coming down the line is an app on your phone that you can do some type of grading. Like if you're, Joe Blow and you're in the grocery store or in your butcher shop, to be able to use that app that can help tell you like, what is the grading scale? And, maybe if we get an American grading scale that more accurately reflects different levels of full-blood Wagyu, it would help too. But I think just having that understanding, because I had a conversation this winter with a very popular, very high-end steakhouse in Wisconsin. And the guy was like, hey, I just want to make sure that if we buy your beef, it's going to be graded as prime because we promote that we only serve prime beef. And I was like, do you realize that this Wagyu is like twice as marbled as prime? Like the worst full-blood Wagyu I have is going to be prime plus. So I don't think that's a problem. But the fact that like our grading scale ends at like a C minus, like in school, you're like, hey, Dad, how'd you do? Well, I got 100 on the test and it was a C minus. Like, what? What are you doing? Sorry, we just don't have A's. They don't give them out. I don't know. And so it's hard for me to like wrap my mind around that in the United States. Like people think prime is the greatest thing on earth when really prime is like where Wagyu starts. Like even your F1s, your American Wagyu, like you're probably going to hit prime for the most part if you're handling and you're finishing them the right way.
For sure.
And that's unfortunate that like there's so many people in the food industry that still don't understand like the difference, that they're like, oh, well, is this Wagyu going to be at least prime? You're like, man. Like these people, we did a podcast on is Wagyu a scam and debunked it, of course. But one of our examples was that we had a guy who's been in this industry for so long in the food and bev industry that was like, I just don't like Wagyu. I think it's kind of a marketing scam. And we're like, dang, like you have been here for so long, but still like had no idea. And he was actually the guy who tried Dr. Sheila's Vermont Wagyu. And he was like, oh, this is pretty good.
I got a believer in him now. But I think the power of having an app on your phone and giving people that knowledge would be great, because even if you're not buying anything, I would go to the store and just like be checking stuff out and getting that grading on my phone and having that feedback just gives you more power and more information in the hands of the consumer so that they can educate themselves rather than just relying on a label that is so outdated that it really doesn't tell the story of what you're looking at.
Agreed. And we, I love to, get us all talking the same language. And Tyler and I kind of go back and forth because we'll mention, oh, is this F3, F4? Is this full blood? Is this purebred? For you guys, I want to ask the question, do you think we should do the F1, F2, F3, F4, or should we keep it as F1, F2, pure blood, full blood?
Yeah.
We'll let Dr. Sheila handle
That's
that.
Been batted around for a long time. I think it's very hard for the consumer to understand F2, F3, F4. And even purebred versus full blood is tough.
Yeah.
Right.
I think, again, that's going to be in the hands of the breeders to decide down the road. I don't want to
Yeah.
speak for them. Obviously, I'd love to see full blood Wagyu 100% all over Vermont Wagyu's beef.
Mm-hmm. Yeah. When I am in Facebook and I look at the Wagyu breeders, like there's a bunch of clubs and stuff. I'm in there. I'm just reading the comments. People are saying the breeders do use the F1, F2, F3, F4, and it is it's kind of easy for me to understand. But I don't know. I just feel like full blood is such a good term for it instead of like, oh, it's F4 or whatever. I just feel like that for the American consumer, like that full blood is just such a better term to like get people to understand that this is like 100% genetics from Japan that can be traced back to Japan. I don't know. That's just
Yeah, I think full blood's a good label. I think the American Wagyu confuses people because it is confusing if you don't know a whole lot about it. It's like, well, American Wagyu means they're basically crossbreeds with, a domestic or a continental breed. But if you say, yes, I'm raising full blood Wagyu in America, they're like, well, is that American Wagyu? Well, not really. It's actually quite different, so it leads to a lot of confusion. And actually, I think some of the bigger Wagyu producers, I think they use that to their advantage because typically the bigger guys, like the huge scale farmers, ranchers, are raising American Wagyu because it's faster, right? They don't have to put their animals on feed as long, so they can turn them over and they can produce more beef, and they're raising American Wagyu. And most people, I think, they see that and they think, oh, it's full blood Japanese Wagyu raised in America, when really it's kind of a different product. So if I had to vote on something, I do like the F1 system, but it is confusing for a consumer, and it almost doesn't matter. Was it F1, F2, F3? I don't know. It doesn't really matter as long as it grades a certain way. I think to me that tells more of a story than saying it's an F3 or an F1. Just knowing, hey, this is a cross, and this is how it marbled, this is how it graded is the most important. And then boom, full blood is different. This is a full blood breed, just like certified Angus, which we raise. Hey, this is different. This is 100% Angus. This is 100% Wagyu. If it's in the middle, what is the grade?
Yeah, exactly. I guess you're right. To the consumer, like, does it look like good beef? Does it look like good beef that you would want to purchase? Is it marbled enough for you, and is it at a good price point? Then you should pick it up. But yeah, the Fs, I think that they kind of confuse people, but it's just, I just want us all to use the same language because we all speak differently. And when I look at Wagyu groups, it's like, it's always different. I'm like, man, like if I'm having trouble understanding this, like we dive into this all day long, and I'm like, dude, like, the guy who comes into the butcher shop is going to have no idea at the end of the day. So you got to keep educating. That's a number one thing.
It blows my mind when somebody comes into the butcher shop and then actually does their research. I'm like, oh, well, what is that, a purebred? I'm like, wow, okay, let's talk.
Hey, there we go.
Oh my gosh. Well,
I think this is all in front of FSIS, the labeling gurus of the country right now, and they're struggling with how to deal with these issues and what to call it. And I think we're going to hear a whole lot more about this down the road.
Good. I want to keep talking about it because I think it is, it's just, it gets confusing to that consumer, and that's the last thing that the Wagyu industry needs because, people are already upset by thinking that this American is fake Wagyu beef, which is not. So yeah, having the same names is just going to help so much. So what else, Joe, do you think that people need to know about Wagyu beef? I know are you limited on time? Are we doing okay?
We're doing good. Yeah, we're doing good.
Good.
What else do people need to know about Wagyu? I'm not sure. I think we've covered the big things. I mean, just the experience of eating Wagyu is different, right? The mouthfeel, the texture, the way it melts in your mouth like M&Ms, not in your hand. It's amazing.
That's fun.
And then the wellness side of it, I think, is really an important side that people need to understand as people hopefully are starting to educate themselves on what they're putting in their body and how food is medicine and how it affects you, how it affects your health and how you feel and your energy that you have on a daily basis. But I think as people are getting more curious about Wagyu, just teaching them how to cook it, I think, is important because, I had a friend the other day that bought some and just threw it right on his charcoal grill, right on these super hot coals and flames, and it just chars up. And he still loved it because it's still so good and so much better than what he was used to. And I'm like, didn't it taste acrid and bitter because you burned the crap out of it? Like, you wouldn't take a pork shoulder and throw it right on the grill and then think it's going to be amazing. And so I think that's probably one of the things that I hope that people start to learn. And there's lots of resources. That's a great thing about today's social media generation and YouTube. Like, it's really easy to go out and find, all right, I got a zabuton, or I got a Denver, or I got a skirt, whatever it is. What's the right way to cook it? And just being a little bit more delicate, using reverse sear or sous vide or oven or cast iron, like, just make sure that super hot flame is not right on top of it, because I think you're going to lose some of the value of Wagyu when all that fat drips out and just turns into a giant inferno.
For sure.
No, absolutely. Absolutely. So, Chef Tyler, how do you cook the perfect Wagyu full blood ribeye?
Oh yeah. That's
Cast iron all day, buddy. Cast iron all day.
You're doing cast iron.
Wagyu tallow. And honestly, I only use salt.
Yep.
Because I'm such a purist of tasting and enjoying these different cuts of beef, different fat levels. So maybe a little bit of a dry brine overnight in the fridge, and then a hot cast iron pan, Wagyu tallow, slow roasted, maybe poêle a little herbs and garlic, and you know my style. That's my jam right there. It's my favorite.
Yep. I love that, and I love that. I am more of a griller. I just like to be outside grilling, so I'll grill. A lot of people say don't grill Wagyu, but I keep it at a really high level. Like I raise it about 8 to 9 inches above that flame. That's always my trick, and I start it there, and then I kind of toss it down on that flame, and then I pull it off and I put it back up. And it's like a dance. It just takes me forever, but I don't know. It's part of the craft that I love doing it, and that's how I cooked the Vermont Wagyu steak that I got for Father's Day. I put them up real high, get them going, then I kind of get a little bit of that sear, and then I pull it up. But yeah, I'm always gonna grill. I just love it. Or smoke to reverse sear. I just like being outside with that Wagyu and smelling it. There's something about it.
Good.
It's just
so good.
I just love it so much, man. Oh gosh. Well, and we just had was it Adam Wackel of Plum Creek Wagyu, and he was sitting in his feeding pen with 100 animals that were just chilling out. And I wanted to ask you, Joe, do you wish that maybe James Harrison or Terrell Suggs had a little bit of that Wagyu blood to make
that would have been nice. It would have saved me a lot of headaches, that's for sure. A lot of sleepless nights going into those games, because that is one of the cool things too. Like, when we first got into beef, I told the guy I was buying from, I said, these animals are going to be around my kids, so I can't have any crazy animals. And we were raising Simmental Angus, and he did a great job breeding for docile animals, which I think it helps in the marbling too, right? They're not so stressed. They're not so worried. They're not running around all over the place. They're easier to handle and be around. But then the Wagyu is just a different level. Like, you go up to there, they just don't give a shit. They're just looking right at you. They're like, hey, what are you doing?
What's up, bro?
I don't feel like walking over there, so I'm just going to stand here. Like, the part of me is a little lazy and really enjoys just sitting there and eating a good meal. And I feel like I'm a kindred spirit with the Wagyu, because sometimes I just want to sit there, watch football, and eat a good steak.
Oh my God, there's nothing better than that. Wow, there's nothing better than that. So what can people expect from Six Springs Farms, right? You're doing a launch here of Hall of Fame beef. I know it's already sold out, or the first portion is sold out, but tell us what's coming up next.
Yeah, so we've, up until this point, just sold our Angus and our Simmental Angus, but on August 16th, right in the middle of August or so, we're going to start being able to offer the full-blood Wagyu and then the F1 and American Wagyu, because we were able to buy some feeders from Dr. Sheila. We're able to now provide that full-blood Wagyu sooner than we had hoped, which is so exciting. We've been raising the F1s and the Akaushis for a while, and so now they're finally going to be ready. But yeah, we're excited. We're launching the whole thing in August, where we're selling the full-bloods, the American Wagyu, and also we're rendering tallow now from the animals that we're harvesting, which is super exciting, because like I mentioned, when I was cooking the strip this earlier this week, just putting that tallow down on the cast iron just to get it started a little bit so it doesn't burn right at the beginning is so nice. And, my wife is big into the beauty products and stuff. So she's all excited about, hey, we got to get this tallow. We got to make soap and with our honeybees and all this stuff. So just kind of exploring and having fun with that is cool. And, we hope that people will grow with us as we're expanding our product line into other goofy things that my wife has and my kids have ideas of, raising honeybees and making Wagyu beef tallow soap. And, my father-in-law is going to do maple syrup for us. So it's just a fun family adventure here. And thanks to Dr. Sheila, we're now able to provide some of the best beef on planet Earth and hoping to be able to dial it up a notch every single time that we're raising another animal.
That's so cool. So you're going to do straight to consumer. People can order through your website?
Yep. So you can go to our website, holoffamebeef.com or sixspringsfarms.com, and you can order direct to consumer. So we'll ship it right to your house. Prem Meats in Spring Green, Wisconsin is our partner. They do all of our harvesting and our processing. So they ship, or you can come into their store and pick it up. And, hopefully we've got a lot of other people throughout the country that are interested in having our beef to be able to sell at butcher shops and stuff like that. We haven't gone that route yet because, like you mentioned, the demand has been really good so far. And so we've been selling out pretty quickly. But eventually, once we scale up enough to be able to offer it in some more places throughout the country, especially in Ohio, got a lot of Ohio fans, being that played for the Browns for 11 years. We'll hopefully be able to offer some of our Hall of Fame beef in some local butcher shops, so you don't have to order it online if you don't want. You can just go down to your local friendly butcher there with a sweet mustache like Tyler's and be able to have those human interaction, which we miss so much these days, and pick up the Hall of Fame beef, whether it's our Angus or our Wagyu product.
I love it. So you have full blood from Dr. Sheila. That's the full blood black Wagyu, and then so your F1 cross is actually Akaushi and Angus.
Both, yeah. So we've got the Sim Angus cross with Akaushi, and we got a little bit of a mutt herd based on 2018 we started, and we have some great mama cows. So we brought in some Akaushi bulls, and now we got black Wagyu bulls running on them, and so a little mix of different F1s and F2s and stuff like that also available. But quality, the way they're raised, all going to be the same, super high quality, and so we're really excited to be able to offer. Hey, if you want that super 50% IMF full blood ribeye, great. But if you want just an Angus or Sim Angus or an F1 that maybe has a little bit more beefiness, a little bit less marbling on it, we'll hopefully be able to offer that, but all raised in the same delicate manner on my farm.
Cool. Right. And it's just well-raised beef, man. That's what we push. Like, people always think, we're trying to sell A5 Wagyu all the time. I'm like, I don't care what you buy. Just buy good beef. Know where it comes from. And like from people like you guys, that are feeding the community around them. I think that is like one of the things that, like you keep saying, we got to get back to feeding the community around us. And with us, most of our beef comes from Washington. Comes from Pure Country Farms. It's about 180 miles away from our restaurant in Seattle. And it's just a super small farm. They do about 25 cattle a week. And it's just some of the greatest. We've been there. We've shaken the hands with the farmer. And like, not everybody can do that, but it's so important if you can get out there and meet that farmer and actually go on the ranch and see what they're doing, how they're raising their beef. It means so much. And if we can just have a few more people start to do that and start to, order locally and meeting those people, it's gonna change everything. Because right now, as we all know, 80-90% of the beef in America is processed through 30 plants that are owned by 3 different companies. And so how do we, get out there even more, meet our local ranchers and like people like you guys, and have you guys just keep feeding this community? If we all start just feeding the community, and it's gonna go a long way. So
keep telling the story, guys. I think that's the secret, right? When people hear the story and they understand the difference in how these animals are raised, they understand the difference in the care being taken for them and the land, which is a big thing for me. Like, I think healthier land, healthier soils is going to produce better quality products. Then they try it, and then they'll never go back.
That's right.
Absolutely. We haven't. My daughter's never going to eat anything less than a F1 cross now. I swear to God. She's a spoiled one. I love it. Well, this has been just so awesome. It's so great to have both of you on. Such just legends in your own way. honestly, and it's really cool to talk with you guys, and it only helps, us keep promoting this brand, to have people like you on, and people who do things the right way. That is what we're so big on, that doing things the right way all of the time. And I really do want to thank you both for your time and being so gracious. This has been such a fun conversation, and I hope that people see this and understand that Wagyu is not this scary thing. They can go out there and get a steak for $20 and try it. We always say, don't buy an A5 ribeye out the gate. Buy a $20 skirt steak, F1 cross, cook it up, and it might change your life. So.
Awesome.
It's a great way to put it. Thank you for having me.
And if Joe, you really think you're a little guy, I don't even want to talk to you anymore.
Perspective is everything in life. Yeah,
Yes.
for sure.
Hey, Joe, are you going to start selling to Travis Kelce's 1587?
Yeah, it's funny. I was on their podcast a couple months ago, and we were talking about the Wagyu and my ranch, Hall of Fame beef, and Six Springs Farms and stuff. And I sent Travis and Jason a message the other day. I'm like, I know you're Kansas City restaurant, but hey, if you want to supply a little bit extra from Wisconsin, I might have something for you. So we'll see. Although I'm sure as a Kansas City steakhouse, he's probably going to be sourcing locally, I would assume. But you never know. We'll see.
Yeah,
I'll keep you posted if that happens.
I know. We just covered those guys there, because Jason actually said, he's like, just give me an Angus ribeye. That's all I want. And Travis is like, give me the Wagyu. I'm like,
That sounds about right.
Looking at those two, which one was joke? Which one likes Wagyu beef?
Yeah.
Of course, it's Travis. I love it. Oh my gosh. Well, gosh, you guys, thank you so much again. This has just been awesome. And yeah, and please go on, support these guys, support Vermont Wagyu, support Six Springs Farms and Hall of Fame beef. Like I said, I ordered some from Dr. Sheila at Vermont, and it was amazing. Shipped here overnight, and it was just some of the best beef I've ever had. And I'm going to do it again, so look out for my name. When you see that name, come
Look for it.
A little extra in the bag there.
right? Oh, well, I appreciate you guys. Please go out and support these local farmers. And yeah, I think we're going to sign it off here, unless you guys got anything else to say.
All good.
Well,
That's it. Thanks for having us on,
guys.
This is great.
Thank you.
guys. I appreciate it. We will talk to you guys soon, and we'll see you next time on the Meat Dudes.